Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing today? Greetings to Dot and Stalker and Like a Raven. Welcome back. And hey, Augersley, welcome back as well. Hey, it's going pretty good. I went and took my friends to the grocery store and then I came home. Yeah, this is a picture that Augersley sent in yesterday. I love it so much. uh What a wonderful thing. I still maybe I have to eat Arby's to keep up with the bit. It's not even that I'm particularly like preoccupied with Arby's or anything. I just if you've never seen the picture I was using, hold on, in the background of those videos that I was posting, I'm really sorry that you got Arby's just for the sake of like my stupid bit. Oh yeah, here it is. Great. It's right here in this folder. Uh yeah, this. So it's this guy. He's just like he is literally playing Demon Souls, just and he has a full setup here at Arby's, and you can tell that it's Arby's because you couldn't see this in the video, but look, there's the logo. It must be a pretty chill Arby's. Hey Cerebro and Suki Bancho, welcome in. It's good to see everybody again. Well, uh so do y'all do anything fun today? Have any interesting, I don't know, supernatural experiences or see like a nice bird, nice flock of crows or something? Hey, it's a good thing that picture is blocking my file system on RetroArch. Hold on, let me get rid of that. I'm stupid as hell. Yeah, it is true. Everybody this here seems really cool. Everybody that showed up yesterday, I was so happy. Uh, it was just I don't know, so much fun. I had a great time. Everybody was so nice and so chill. You stepped barefoot into cat puke. That is absolutely disgusting. I'm so sorry. I end up stepping on a lot of rabbit poops every day because they get everywhere. They just go everywhere, and you kind of can't see them on like a textured carpet until it's too late. Cerebro catching up on every single manga that comes out today. Like what? I didn't wasn't realize that manga comes out like on a certain day of the week. I just heard that a new Maiden Abyss chapter is coming out soon. I'm kind of excited for that. It seems like maybe the current arc is starting to wind up, which is fine with me. I'm not really the biggest fan of where the story has been at lately. Cat related stuff too? Well, I hope that it's like normal cat stuff, like you're just playing with your cat or like cleaning the litter box and your cat's not having like health problems or anything. Yeah, I can imagine tile floor is probably very nice for uh any kind of animal that secretes something that's like a liquid. Thankfully, like, you know, rabbits just pee in like one place, which is like usually their cage. So, and the poops are not offensive. They're just kind of gross when you step on them. Shonen Jump stuff comes out on Sunday in the official app. That's cool. What kind of stuff are you into? I haven't read too much shonen manga. I actually shonen in general. I only just watched I mean, of course I watched like Dragon Ball when I was like younger, but mainly I don't watch too much shonen stuff. I just watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood last month though for the first time. That was really fun. I kind of wasn't expecting to like it so much, though it did drag a bit at points. There were a lot of nice characters in it though. I've been interested in reading Chainsaw Man because all of my friends like it and seem to speak very highly of it. And it seems like it's I don't know, seems cool. Two people instantly. Chainsaw Man is good. Well, that's a good sign. Cool. Well, maybe I'll check it out. I know that you can get it through like the Viz app or something like that, right? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Usually if I'm buying manga, I just like get books cuz it's hard for me to read stuff on a screen. I like to go to the used bookstore in town. Obviously not so much since COVID's been on, but they always have like a ton of used manga, usually from the 90s and 2000s. It's fun to browse. I got a lot of cool stuff there, like Alien 9 and some Holic and some Yatsuba and stuff like that. It's great. I love the used bookstore. Let me change the text color in the chat box. It's kind of not quite. Get like a, I don't know, like a green. About that might be good. Just as long as it's not over the puke on my little patch. Did I read Fire Punch? No. I've heard people talk about that too. It sounds, most of my friends, all I hear them say about it is like, wow, this is really deranged. But they love it. Yeah, that's basically the sense that it seems to be that people. That's the reaction I keep seeing. Sounds kind of cool though. I like distressing manga, distressing anime. Stress you out and freak you out and make you feel like garbage, but like in a fun way. That's cool. Currently, like running manga, I mostly follow Dungeon Meshi and Made in Abyss, though I'm just kind of like reading it out of habit at this point. I really hope it picks up a little bit more again. And Land of the Lustrous is awesome. I just started reading that again and got past the point where the anime ends, and I've been really enjoying it. I love Ichikawa's art so much. It's really like, I don't know, it's just cool. It's like abstract and so like carefully considered. Yeah, Dungeon Meshi is awesome. I remember when I started reading it, I was like, okay, like this is kind of fun. Seems like they're doing kind of like a fun gag cooking of the week thing, and then it started to get more serious, and I was like, yeah, it started to feel like a comic version of like wizardry or something, which is absolutely up my alley. Cool stuff. Um, I've also been reading Dorohedoro, which is fantastic. Q Hayashida is like a fucking genius. I love how she draws everyone's shoes like so meticulously. Yeah, hell yeah. And it's like every character in it is like adorable. It's like a shipper's paradise if you're into like violent muscle head types. Like the only character I was kind of like on the fence on about was like N, and then even eventually I kind of like started to come around on N. He's cute. Yeah, it's all good. The anime was great too. I'm really glad to see some more anime coming out that's like 3D but done in a more interesting way, you know? Like the Hoseki no Kuni anime, and I haven't watched Beastars, but people seem to like it a lot. I think it's by the same studio. The way the Boku no Hero artist draws cool shoes, but his manga sucks ass. I don't know. It seems like people really like it, but I've never read any of it, and I've also never watched any of it. So I have zero opinion about that manga. Someone say way violent muscleheads? Yeah. Have you ever read Dorohedoro before? If not, it might be up your alley. How do you guys feel about uh the text color? It's like really small because I have the OBS window really tiny, so it's kind of hard to tell how it reads. The Boku no Hero guy did a circus manga before. Ah. Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started on Clock Tower? Green reads weird on the background. Okay, here. What do you think would be a good color? I picked green because there's like purple behind it, but okay, it's pretty hard to read and you're on a big TV. All right, have a black border around it. Is there a way to do that in Streamlabs? Let's see. Maybe the background less transparent. Okay. Chunky. I'm trying out the different themes here. Yeah. You can add a border and slabs pretty easily. How do you do that? Sorry, my shit is like such a disaster, but here. Here, I'm just gonna duplicate the I made it transparent, but I'm just gonna layer it until it's more opaque. Yeah, there we go. Properties of the text source on the bottom somewhere. Okay, let's see. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Here. Let's make this darker, maybe. Dark blue, maybe? I don't know. Dark red. I can't seem to find the way to add like a stroke around the text thing. It's in like the chat box or whatever. Yeah, I think that part of the fun is like learning as you go. Oh man, that's really hard to read against the hat. Jesus Christ. Right. It's like bright pink. Why not? I have streamed some before, but it was like a couple years ago. I kind of fell off the wagon then. Embossing. Wait a second. You can add. Hold up. It's like filters. Is that something I can do? Heat map? No, doesn't seem to have anything under there. Visual presets. Wait, here. No. This is all just audio. What's up with this? Eh. Well. Maybe if I make it like bright ass red. Yeah, I was like really nervous at first. And then you know, pretty soon in the last stream, I got completely unnervous, and now I'm not nervous at all. So that's good. And once I know my way around the software better, it'll be all good. Well, I guess if there needs to be any more like adjustments made, we can just do it as we go. But for now, here we go. I'm gonna start the game. Yeah, there we go. Wait, get off the screen. There we go. Oh, thank you, Augersley. Oh, I gotta plug this in. Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful sound, isn't it? I love it. Alright, I hope you're ready for more mashing through like endless dialogue. I guess the good news is anybody who wasn't here yesterday, like, I'm not gonna read out loud the dialogue that we already saw yesterday, but you know, I'll start once we okay, so it did save that we got the first ending for Helen. So like, I'm not gonna read out loud all the dialogue again as we're going through Jennifer until we get to a new part. I think I know how to get there now. This should be like a less long stream with like less fumbling around. So Umagata Doki Zoo is the circus manga. It got canned? Oh no, that's no good. Kind of sucks when a manga ends like when it really feels like it hadn't run its course yet. Like I remember, if you've ever read any of Shimura Takako's like manga, a lot of her stuff just like ends very abruptly, and it's like, oh, you just like didn't get to do justice to this story.
Professor? You mustn't hypnotize her like this. She's not ready to remember the murders yet.
Helen, the clock tower murders are fascinating research material for me. I must know the truth of what happened.
Yes, yes.
She can't take any more of this today, Professor. I'm taking her home.
All right. But remember one thing, Helen.
Game audio low?
You may be her guardian.
Okay, I turned it up some.
Also my assistant.
Hopefully it won't get
Yes,
too loud or
Professor.
anything. Is my audio okay? Like, am I loud enough? Alright, so we have to check everything in the room to be able to leave. This game is kind of hard to, like, mix the audio with my voice because most of it is silent with, like, just footsteps. Yeah, so I guess if you weren't here yesterday, at least the text scrolls by at a phenomenally slow speed. So if you want to read everything, you have plenty of time to do it, even if I mash the X button as fast as possible. Yeah, here we go. Got that rave lighting again. I always like how they keep using the verb like slash up with his scissors. Like it kind of sounded, I don't know, I feel like chop would be like a better verb for killing somebody with giant scissors, but most of the time that we see someone get killed by them in this game, he is stabbing them. Okay, let's look at everything so that we can leave the room. Talk to everybody like 3 times. Oh, that's okay, Laika. It's you know, a lot of the time that I watch streams, I mostly I don't really chat very much because I get nervous, and also it's really hard for me to focus on something with my full attention for like hours and hours. A lot of the time I just watch people's VODs. Yeah, cut seems like a, I don't know, kind of implies that you're like swinging the scissors around like a sword. You usually have 4 streams open? Do you have all the audio on at the same time? And chat in all of them? That's pretty impressive. How the fuck do you do that? Are you like an alien? Oops. Oh. I already looked at that. Oh, it's okay, like, if you need me to, like, speak more slowly or anything, you know, you can always let me know. I tend to talk really fast sometimes, so. I know, I have a friend who, she watches like multiple different people speedrunning Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne at the same time, which sounds like it would give you brain damage. Oh yeah, that's understandable. I can understand like Spanish pretty okay a lot of the time, but I really struggle to express myself because I don't know how to use like the subjunctive mood, which is like what you use to express like hypotheticals and stuff like that. I don't have an art tag right. Yeah, I haven't picked one yet. Um maybe I should. I just didn't even expect that people would draw stuff for me. And then I actually did get like multiple drawings on the first stream. It was surprising. Aw, well, you don't have to draw stuff if you just want to hang out ever. Don't ever feel pressure um to do it, I guess. Oh yeah, I forgot that you were talking about how your tablet went kaput because your pen snapped in half. Oh, I guess that he just can't walk that way. Alright, so this is like a weird thing. This guy, the number of times you talk to him, Harris, the creeper, the weirdo, the number of times you talk to him determines who the main character of the game is. So we want to talk to him twice to make sure that Jennifer will be the main character. Yeah, see, he mentions Jennifer, and then if you click on him twice, she becomes the main protagonist after the prologue. The times that I've drawn something for a VTuber, I use the tag because I don't know, I wouldn't want to just like tweet it directly at the person because I don't want to like put pressure on them to even like respond or anything. Cerebro, it seems like a lot of the people that you draw you have like a rapport with though, so yeah, we gotta talk to these guys again. We got Tim back. I hope we can save Tim this time. It's too bad that he was killed by like a ridiculously obscure condition. Oh yeah, let's click on them. I like how he has no camera in his hands. Like he's just like producing the flash from his head. His forehead's got like a gem in it that lights up. You know, it looks like this game might be rendered in I don't know, do people know about like there's like a high resolution mode on the PlayStation, I think, that has like it has like a extra horizontal resolution or something like that. It's something really strange. You can kind of see it in this game. Like his eye, like the pixels are really slender. I think that's why it was so difficult last time when that hand attacked us and there was that quill on the desk that we had to click on to kill it, and it was like it was like a tiny little sliver of pixels. Maybe they shouldn't have used it. Yeah, the quill, it was like literally a little speck of like of graphics on the screen. Once I knew what I was like looking for, I could see it, but it was like I think that it would have been better if you had been able to click on the quill beforehand to like get the character to like notice it. Hey Stunts, welcome in. Yeah, we're talking to these reporters for like the millionth fucking time. Ugh. I also think that while the puzzle where you had to get extra batteries for the flashlight from the recorder that was on the floor, like that makes sense. But also it would have made more sense like maybe if you could have picked up the recorder from the moment that you saw it, because I clicked on it and I was like, oh, it just must be like set dressing like before the flashlight batteries had officially like died in the game logic. So I kind of like really wasn't expecting to need them. I guess it's not illogical, but it's just like kind of awkwardly coded. It's one of those adventure game things like where a character can't interact with something until they know that they need it, and it's kind of like, I guess so, but why? Yeah, good old pixel hunting. Just click on everything over and over. Anytime you get stuck, go and click on everything like a robot until progress happens. Hopefully there will be less of that this time. I have higher hopes for Jennifer's like ending A route because you know the only route that had its own specific game FAQs guide was Helen's ending A. So I'm wondering if that means that Jennifer's is like a little less obtuse. I would hope so. All right. So I'm gonna save here. No hand shenanigans. Yeah, we're not gonna be just standing around watching our guy get killed by a hand for like 20 minutes not knowing what to do. And you know, it was also strange that we got those lead balls. Why did they need to be lead balls? Like, the fact that it was lead balls made me think that, oh, we need to use the lead balls to throw at Scissor Man in that one room, you know? With the cross? When he, like, I thought that we were supposed to throw it at him in that cutscene. Or that, we could throw them at the hand and crush it or something. Like, it's so strange. Like, lead balls, it's like you think it's, like, particularly heavy. Yeah, and it's like all the lead balls were for is to dispel the rats from that one passage. Yeah, the symbols on the paths that were just like a red herring. Weird. Just kind of weird stuff going on. I wonder if we'll get to see Rick this time. We're gonna tell Harris not to take the statue to Rick, though. Pretty sure he lives in the suburbs. I hope we don't have to throw laundry detergent in a dog's eyes again. That was fucked up. I've been thinking about that constantly since we streamed last night. No, Harris, you'll not be taking the statue. You know, I'm also kind of wondering, in Helen's route, if we asked Gotts to go check out... I think that Gotts, like, that was one of the main branches of the game. It's like Gotts asked us if he should go to investigate Rick or something like that. I wonder if that happened, would he have just gone and had like the same scenario with at Rick's house that Nolan did? Wonder if we would have just seen Rick sadly crushed to death under his heirloom chandelier from the family that he was a butler for. That was very tragic. All right. Gotta look at Edward's stupid face again. Well, at least we know everything that we need to do as Jennifer. Oh, something that I want to try. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but as Jennifer, we had that one scene where it was like dark. It was right before we got into that building. I like the music here. Hey, look, she has a little stuffed bunny. That's so cute. Its face looks a little bit freaked out though. It kind of looks like the screaming horsetail coon from Non Non Biori. That freaked out like Haniwa kind of face. Where shall I go? Um I don't remember where we're supposed to go. I think we go talk to Helen. I hope that like going to all the overworld maps map locations is not like required for getting on the A path. That'd be pretty annoying. These office environments are really cute. The kind of simple like dollhouse feel of this game. It's like, I don't know, so, I don't know, just nice and appealing. Okay. Yeah, we can't go back there. I'm just gonna click on everything for the sake of making sure that we cover all our bases. Just can't get over how weird he looks here. Yes, he's Edward. Say hello, Edward. Hello, Edward. Uh, just gonna mash through the endless dialogue of Clock Tower. It probably shouldn't take too long before we're at some like new uh some new business in the game though, right? Uh, let's go talk to Sullivan, who looks like the Burger Man statue from Sonic Adventure, kinda. It reminds me of it. Do we ever like find out what he collects, like in particular? You know, like we found his like room. It was like the specimen room or whatever. It had that aquarium behind it, and I don't know. We didn't really get a sense of like what was in there, what was supposed to be in there. Huh? Someone's in front of the house. Oh, that's. I really like that. I don't know. That's like kind of some effective little writing. Like it gives you kind of some tension, even though nothing really happens. Oh yeah. Have you guys ever seen that video where Tay Zonde was playing Team Fortress 2 and he opened his own Twitch stream in a browser and forgot to mute it? That's one of my favorite videos. It's that nice music again. Oh, he's the guy who made. Do you remember Chocolate Rain? That's a really old meme. It's like a 2000s meme. Maybe nobody remembers him anymore. I wonder what he's doing now. He seemed alright. Seems like a nice enough guy. Yeah, I remember he did like a, I don't know if it was Cherry Coke or Cherry Pepsi. He did like a promo video for, they made like a cherry and chocolate flavored soda. They got him to do a version of the song for it. I felt a little bad for him, but he probably got so much money from that. And if anybody deserves money like that, it's Taezon Day. Seems like a nice fella. Alright, let's try and click on, there was something, I think it was this store. Alright, let's... Oh, yeah, yeah!
Please, someone help me.
We did it! Is that even gonna change anything? Okay, that did nothing. That was just like for flavor. That's cool though. Adds to the horror atmosphere. And we get to see one of the most badass moments.
What's wrong?
Help! Someone is following me.
Some kind of weirdo?
It's so cool. Yeah, crush him. I guess that wasn't crushing, he was stabbing him. I don't know why I said that. Alright, let's go in here. We can hide in the cardboard box. Yeah, always with the jokes. He's just a practical joker. He's got a really funny face. Alright, now where's the oil can in this room? Is it in this shelf? Some tools. This might be useful. She just said there's nothing useful, and then she said there is something useful. Why does she enter the building? That is a good question. I think it's because her guardian works in this building, so I think she's hoping that she'll come in here and be able to find her, and she can help her. Because this is like the university building that we were in earlier, as that doctor guy, who Helen, who is her guardian, that blonde lady that we were talking to, she works under him. I'm sorry that I don't know, anybody who wasn't here yesterday might be a bit lost. Oh yeah, I need to wash my hands because it seems like both Helen and Jennifer had the option to wash their hands in the bathroom. I wonder if you get like framed for murder if you don't do that. I like that pog face for when that guy got killed. I remember the first time that I was ever like just trying this game out, when that happened, like after, you know, all the long waiting and like build up of the beginning where it was like so slow and you're just like talking to people, like I basically just like threw my arms up in the air like my team just scored like the winning fucking touchdown or something. So hype. I don't remember if there's anything we need in here. Oh yeah, we need that key. What's this? You have the ladder key. Okay. I wonder if that means we can just get out of here, or if there's any other items that are like necessary. The phone's dead. Huh. Okay. There is a partition. Alright. Oh, we might as well just look at this guy and see the fun animation. Just casually sitting there.
Excuse me.
So cool. I like how the fact that he's beheaded implies that Scissorman cut his head off and then put him in that casual position with his head in place. He's a fun guy. Yeah, who needs the Super Bowl? We got the Scissor Bowl. I kind of forgot that it was the Super Bowl today, even though I was like just talking to my friend about it earlier. I'm just gonna check all the rooms because I can't remember if we needed anything. You know, I know I said that I wouldn't play Clock Tower 2 yesterday, but I'm kind of considering it. It seems like it might be like a bit of a drag because it's yeah, here we go. Gotta wait out the whole fax tone and printing process noise for some reason. But it seems like Clock Tower 2 is like a real pain in the ass to play, but from the playthrough I remember watching like five or more years ago. I think it was Stop Skeletons from Fighting on YouTube, if you've ever seen. Uh-oh, we gotta get out of here. Oh, fuck. I hope we're not cornered. But that game seems like it could be fun, even if it is tedious. Can we juke him? Yeah, come on over here. No! No, god damn it. I hope we're not stuck in here. Yeah, he used to be Happy Video Game Nerd. He goes by Stop Skeletons from Fighting at this point. I mostly, I don't know, I haven't watched his stuff either in a while, but he does some nice, fun, insightful videos. Yeah. Yes! Oh my god! Juke this asshole. That's the fucking clock tower movement tech for you. I love this game so much. Our usual strategy. To hide in the bathroom from Scissorman. Because, you know, he's at least, like, sensible enough to not burst into the ladies' room. Wait a second, that looks like somebody's shoes. Wonder if there's like a dead guy in that stall or something. Okay, let's go back to the lockers and see if there's anything in there. I used to really like Happy Video Game Nerd. I think that actually his review of this game is what made me really want to try it, because he gave it such high praise. And I would agree with him mostly. Outside of the slow dialogue and some of the annoying puzzles, I'd say this is like a really like a once in a lifetime kind of like game. Just like the atmosphere. And the feeling of I don't know, the real feeling of like the slasher chase that you don't get in many other games. It's pretty rare. Yeah, there's his fun facts. I just wanted to see that again. I'm coming to get ya. Yeah. I just love that this game seriously just like, I don't know, nails the feeling of like a Giallo movie. Like, I don't know, some obviously Dario Argento or like Mario Bava are like the big points of reference. I wonder if there's anything in here. Because I know that at least Jennifer's design was inspired by Jennifer Connelly in Phenomena. I can't remember which one Tenebrae is. I think that I've watched it. It's the one with like the author, right? I can't really remember though, like the plot of it. I've had it with laying on this bed. I can't remember it. Could really stand to watch it again, probably sometimes. I like what's the second one? Inferno? I really like that movie. Inferno is cool as hell. I like the crazy music in it. And Phenomena too, because it's got psychic bugs. Can't do any better than psychic bugs. In my personal opinion. My professional opinion. I don't think we can go in here. Yeah, Mari Kunas. We never were able to go in there. Just kind of for set dressing. Yeah, I think that Suspiria is a tighter movie by far, but I think that Inferno has like a, I don't know, it's got that extra ridiculous dreamlike feel to it. Like it has no like internal logic really. It's just like you're having a nightmare and watching it on TV. Kind of fun. Wait, no, we don't need to go in there. No. Oh well, maybe we'll get to see Scissorman. Yeah. Oh no, he's not in here. Ah, man. I was kind of looking forward to seeing him turn on all the computers in sequence and they all say kill, kill, kill. That was a nice moment from this game. You know, I don't believe that we can go in any of the other rooms here. Yes, Inferno is the second of a trilogy. I think that the third one came out like way later, like maybe in the 2000s or something. Can't remember though. I like Italian horror movies a lot. They're pretty nice. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. I think we can just leave now. I can imagine this game being kind of scary. Like maybe if you were like a kid or something. It's a little clunky, and I think that there's not enough of like a real consequence to like getting killed by Scissorman, because it just starts you back in like the same room and you can usually find a way out of it. But, you know, I'm not gonna say that my heart doesn't race a little bit when Scissorman comes after me sometimes. Alright, let's get out of here. See what happens. Yeah, it seems like the third in the... I can't remember what they're called. The Three Mothers trilogy or something like that. I've heard that it's wasn't received quite as well, but there's a lot of things I like that were not very well critically or received or audience received. So I don't know, might be worth a look sometime. Have I seen Demons? Is that the one where they're like in a house and there's like a bunch of like really, it's like got a lot of weird looking like makeup. Alright, save. You won't say Scissorman doesn't still give you butterflies just like the day we met? Or is that a reference to something? Look at Helen's face. She looks like she's completely dead inside from working under Barton. Barton always be like, ah, yes, Jennifer is interesting grist for my academic mill, for my academic career. She's like, yes, Professor Barton. She looks like Bert from Sesame Street. Yeah, she kind of does. The character faces in this game, I kind of feel like they don't benefit from the high resolution rendering mode that they have on the game. They just look a little disturbing. The Italian horror film where they're stuck in a cinema and well demons attack? I don't know, maybe that doesn't sound familiar. Maybe I've never seen it. Might be worth watching. I'm always on the lookout for new scary movies to watch. There's if you get like a library card here in the United States at least, you can usually access a free streaming service through it, and they have a ton of like crazy old horror movies on there. If you're ever interested in just like combing through like piles of old, just weird ass horror movies. Let's talk to Gots. Oh, you are still here. You should go home before it gets dark. And I think that we're almost at the point where we're gonna hit like the branch that leads to something new, so that we won't just be mashing through like the same dialogue forever. Wonder what Nolan's up to. Yes, Tim. Look at him. Tim is the only one that remembers what happened in the last like timeline when we played as Helen. That's why he looks so... He's got the 1,000-yard stare, because he knows that he was killed by like a bizarre event trigger. He's the Homura of Clock Tower. I guess that's a spoiler for Madoka, I'm sorry. I still haven't watched Haruhi ever. Really want to, but idea of the Endless Eight, even though I love it in like concept, I just don't know. I don't know if I'd really want to watch it. Like, you know? Alright. It's honestly comfy. Yeah. So things do change every time. I kind of didn't know what the deal with that was. Like if it's different at all, or if it's just the same plot every time. Oh, okay. You got confused on which Endless 8 episode you were on, and you watched 2 repeats on accident. That seems like you could do that pretty easily. That's funny. I remember somebody talking once about how their dad was getting like the old British TV show The Prisoner on like VHS through some kind of like a subscription service or something, and they accidentally got the same tape like several times over, and they thought that the show was doing some kind of experimental thing where they just like were playing the same episode several times in a row for effect or something. But no, it was just like a clerical error, I guess, at the company that shipped out the tapes. The Haruhi movie is the second longest animated film of all time. Is that true? How long is it? Alright, now we're finally getting to the question of the statue, so I think we're gonna come up on the second main, like, story branch now. Then we'll finally get to something new. And it'll be less of me just yakking away about anime and horror movies. Barton was called away on police business. You have any idea what it could be? Yes, I found some telephone numbers. on the professor's desk, one for the library and one for a man named Rick. 2 hours and 44 minutes? That's pretty extreme. Is it good? I feel like any movie that is like that long has really got to justify its length. I want anything and everything relating to Scissorman. Okay. Yes. Helen, I'll find out who this Rick person is. So why is Jennifer going to Rick? Maybe Nolan knows something about him. Huh. Jennifer. Yes? Who's Nolan? Oh yeah. We've already seen all this dialogue before. You watch it every year? That's pretty lengthy to watch on a yearly basis. Alright, let's go talk to Nolan. Hope Nolan's there. I think we're almost at something new. Please. For God's sake. Jennifer, are you alright? Yes, thank you. The police didn't want to tell me much, so I had a hard time finding you. You just watched it last year, so you might rewatch that every year instead of End of Ava. I guess that's a fun thing to watch every year. It was like, Evangelion is very rewatchable in general. I think he is involved in the clock tower case. I was just going to interview him. Really? He used to be a butler for the Barrows family. Ran into someone who happened to know that. I thought I'd go ask him what he knew about the Barrows family. What about it? Well, Professor Barton might have given the statue to him. No, he gave it to Sullivan. You mean the one they found at the scene of the murder? Yes, I want every little clue relating to this case. Okay, should I get the statue from him? No. Alright, I'll go see him and get it. No! Well... Do you want to ask Nolan? No, because Rick does not have the statue. We know that. We, the audience, know that. We're using our powers as the god audience and player to stop this tragedy from ever taking place. Rick will be fine. His dog will be fine. Okay, no problem. But if you ever do need help, just let me know. Thank you, Nolan. Yeah, nobody's gonna throw any laundry powder in Rick's dog's eyes today. Finally. Whoa, we're playing as Edward? Cool. Finally, something new. Wait. No, we're just playing as Helen. I wanted to play as Edward. Alright, let's save again. Oh, Helen again. We thought we were getting Jennifer's arc, but actually we're just going right back to playing as Helen again. If you do it enough times, the dog gets resistance to laundry detergent, which is really strong late game. Yeah, of course. Mr. Sullivan, he's now in the head librarian's office. I see, thank you. I really hope this part is different. It seems kind of cheap to like just reuse Helen's second part here. Yep, Edward. How you doing, kid? Well, if it isn't Edward, what are you doing here? It's boring at the hotel. Is Kay with you? No, she isn't. Oh. Okay, that's the end of his dialogue for this. Well, at least we already know how to do this segment, so it's like even less bumbling around. This seems kind of strange. Like, why would they do this? I don't know if I really agree with this decision, but maybe they just like were under budgetary constraints and needed to extend the game without like creating an entire new second scenario for Jennifer. I don't know. It's fun to switch characters though. It adds you know, some variety to the game. That's part of the reason why I like Siren so much, is there's so many different characters to play as. Hello, Helen. It's been a long time, hasn't it, Mr. Sullivan? I've heard about what happened to you. How terrible. Yes. By the way, Mr. Sullivan. Yes, I have heard. There is something you would like to research. I'll give you a key to the reading room so you can use the reference materials as you please. The reading room is right next door. Oh, and the statue. Oh yes, that's it. Professor Barton left it with me. Please come pick it up on your way out. Thank you very much, Mr. Sullivan. He seems like an okay guy. He's not really in the game long enough to like make a strong impression one way or the other, but you know, it's fine. Now I can enter the reading room with that Morrowind lockpick sound. The reading room. There are many valuable works here, only available to university personnel. I just hope there's something here that will explain the Scissor Man. Okay, so I think we have to examine the shelf. Get this sweet music again. Books relating to England are up there. So now we use the stepladder. We climb up, and we learn about Barrow's Castle, just like we did in Helen's first scenario, the Lords of Northern England. This is it. It makes me think of Sons of Northern Darkness, the Immortal album. Used to be big on Immortal back in the day. They're pretty good. I don't listen to much black metal anymore because it's you know, kind of hard to find black metal that's not kind of sus, you know? Strange, the clock is chiming. Yep, here we go again. Yeah, Dark Throne is good, and there's like a black metal band that one of their album covers is like it's got like a wolf or something like howling at the moon. It's like blue and
The
yellow.
clock hasn't been working for ages. I wonder if someone has
Over,
been
yeah,
messing
I
with
liked
it.
that album pretty well.
Oh, no.
Mr. Sullivan?
Here we go again.
No, my hand is stuck.
Yep, here we go. Nathan's Madrigal. Is that off of the Over album? I liked Vindier. Pretty good. They're pretty good, but I don't know. Kinda just, I don't know. Not that crazy about black metal anymore. Oh, Nathan's Madrigal? Okay, that's what it's called. Alright. It's been a long time since I listened to that. I also like Summoning. I think they're my canon pick for like favorite black metal, because they're just like MIDI keyboard elf music with like some guitar white noise underneath. Blackened Crust recently?
Helen?
What exactly defines like blackened crust? Is it like crust punk with elements of black metal? Or is it the other way around? Can we just like not look at that corpse? Yeah, let's just not worry about it. To avoid triggering another Scissorman encounter. The politics are usually pretty good despite the high rate of white dread skies. That's good. It's always... I don't know. I kind of have stepped away from metal mostly because I feel like I have to like make sure that they're not shitty dudes every time I start listening to a new metal band. But I still listen to Megadeth even though Dave Mustaine is like a InfoWars guy now. Let's check this test. This is where that key was. But we can't get it yet. I don't know why she... That was another point in this game that I was not too happy with, is that the key is in that desk and we know that we need it. But it's like Helen doesn't know, so she just like won't check for it. And Edward is not here, so I guess we have to go all the way back up to the clock tower. Dave Mustaine is awful, but I can't deny myself Holy War's the punishment too. Yeah, that's a really good song. I think about it all the time. That entire album, Rust in Peace, is so good, end to end. Every song is good. I even kind of like the remaster, like that is kind of notorious because they had to re-record like all the drums and like vocals. It has some like charm points to it, in spite of kind of not being quite as good. Yeah, that's my same problem, Dot. Early Megadeth is really good. I'd say that everything up through Rust in Peace is like... Hold on, I gotta save my game before I go up there. I don't want to get trapped. Everything up through Rust in Peace is like very good. And then after that point, I think there's like some corny fun to be had with like Euthanasia and Symphony of Destruction. And even some of the stuff on Risk and Cryptic Writings is kind of fun. But ever since he like became like a born-again Christian InfoWars guy, it's kind of like, alright, I'll just like choose to believe that you never recovered from your arm injury that was thought to be going to end your career. Alright, can we get out of this, please? Let's get out of here. Symphony of Destruction was a song you did at karaoke a lot. It's a fun song. Seems like it would be enjoyable to sing. Dave Mustaine pod person AU. Yeah, that's what I'll choose to believe. Yeah, we gotta use this on him. Just, you know, casually wait for Scissorman to walk in. Bop him. So good. He got killed and replaced with a clone a la Avril Lavigne. What happened to Avril Lavigne? Did she do something? Did Avril Lavigne do something problematic? Are you gonna tell me something bad about Avril Lavigne? Is that the bigger Luke hypothesis of pop music? Is that true? Are you guys pulling my leg? Is this a practical joke? Wasn't that Hannah Montana? I don't know. Oh. A key is inside the drawer. You now have the collection room key. I remember people talking about MF Doom using body doubles for his live shows, which I think is really funny. Rest in peace. I haven't listened to MF Doom in a really long time, but I liked him a lot in like 2008 through like maybe 2011 or so. It's just it's the artifacts he took up in Egypt. Yep. Oh, okay. So this is, we just his collection is Egyptian artifacts, I guess. They make it sound like he has like a huge collection, but it's really just like one table with some rocks on it, some big statues. There's also like a picture. Are you for real? He was in the aquarium this time? Well, wait, but he didn't come out. We didn't see that last time. That's something novel. Fisherman. You went to a show once and it was a fake guy? Like MF Doom, you mean? I like his rationale for it too. It's very cool. That he's a super villain. So if he's not getting enough money, he's just gonna send a body double. It's really funny. You should crouch down now, Helen. Yeah, there we go. It was a double bill with Ghostface Killer who did show up and did a good show. That's good. Has anybody ever been to a show where like the band that you kind of like went to see was like not as good as like the other band that was on the bill? I went to see Death Grips and Ministry together a couple years ago. And I'm not really like a Death Grips fan, honestly. I'm not super crazy about them.
Edward, I thought you'd still be here.
But their show, it was like just painful.
It's
Like
dangerous
it was
here.
so loud
Come
that
with
even
me.
through my earplugs, it just like hurt. It hurt my body to listen to the music because it was just so loud.
Edward, you hide
And
under
they
this
kept,
table until I call you.
They kept shining lasers into the audience too, like into people's eyes and
Be a good
stuff.
boy,
It was kind
and
of
don't
like
worry, we'll make
douchey.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it, the vibe. I like couldn't even tell what songs were playing. It was just so loud. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really listened to them super extensively. I was really there for like Ministry more than anything. Because I think Al Jorgensen he's a fun guy. I really like all the songs on yeah, now we have the cops here. We're almost out of this section. I wonder if anything new will happen. It would be really funny if we just kept playing as Helen, like, until the end of the game. But Ministry was good. They had good energy. Al Jorgensen has got to be like in his 60s or 70s, so like, he was doing good. He was putting on a good show for his age. I really like on, I think Rio Grande Blood, all the songs where they have all the samples of George W. Bush chopped up so that he says like, I'm a dangerous, dangerous man with dangerous, dangerous weapons. I'm a brutal dictator. I'm evil. Please tell me that I have to go and check that vent. Oh my god. I think that because I didn't check the vent in the room where Bobby is hiding, that she won't pick up the screwdriver that we know is in that desk. That's so fucking evil. Oh, come on. It would be funny if... I hope I didn't miss some particular condition that, like, led to just going onto Helen's path. That'd be pretty annoying. if it does turn out that we just end up going straight to Helen in Act 3, and like we're not playing as Jennifer, and that we have somehow like switched tracks or something, I think that I might switch to a different game, and then maybe I'll check playthrough up to the point where we're actually at like original Jennifer stuff, if that exists, and then play it on a different day, and we can switch to a different game for the day, because I don't want to make people watch the same entire game like, you know, 2 days in a row. Alright. Now we can go get the screwdriver. Now that Helen has looked at the vent, she's not just like picking up random items for no reason. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. One time you streamed nothing but the legendary axe for like 2 weeks. Why did you do that? Were you like trying to get like good speedrun times down or something? That would be understandable, you know? It's like people watch speedrunners like play the same game like time after time. Trying to get a deathless run? Yeah, that's noble. I think that's like understandable. It's an angry game. Did you become an angry video game nerd? Alright, now we have the quote-unquote screwdriver. Do you guys rage at video games? Do you get like care mad? Yeah, Mocha did stream Castlevania for a long time. It was amazing. That was some of my favorite streams of his yet. This is so fun. The way that he was just like flawlessly executing the entire game by the end is very admirable. You never get mad, but you do sometimes calmly turn off the console without saving. Yeah. Usually at the point where I start to get angry, I will just be like, alright, I'm starting to feel bad. And like video games are not supposed to make you feel angry. They're supposed to be fun, right? So then I usually stop. But some
Edward,
team games get you
come out
upset.
from there and
Yeah.
come over here.
I had to stop playing
Edward,
like
you can probably
Overwatch
squeeze
like a
through
few
here to
years
the
ago because it
outside.
would just like get me upset.
Hurry,
Because I would
run away
always
from
play as
here.
like healer, and people always lay into you if you're not, if you don't like play good as like a healer in team games like that. It's just frustrating. The last time that I got care mad at a game is when I was playing Yakuza Kiwami, and like I was starting to get really frustrated at how easy it is to, you'll start a combo against a guy, and it's like your inputs get queued, and Kiryu will just keep attacking, but then the guy will sidestep, and you'll just be stuck attacking, and the guy will just get behind you and start punching you in the back, and that's frustrating. It happens so often, and I just like was never able to chill out enough to prevent
Hey,
it from
Teach,
happening.
what's going on? Teach, hang in there.
You main healer a lot, so you totally get where I'm coming from. Yeah, it was the same way. I used to play World of Warcraft, and I would play as healer, and it was pretty
And
tense.
now,
But
without
What?
knowing the whereabouts of the statue,
No!
leads have come
no,
to
no, hold on. That's the same. That was ending E again. Hold up. It's because I didn't pick up the statue from Sullivan's office. We're just gonna go get that real quick. Survivor unidentified. Yeah. Fuck. I'm so sorry. I'm so airhead. I completely forgot about the statue. Let's just load real quick. Bimbo alert. League of Legends made you cry a couple times? Oh my god, I'm sorry. That seems like a stressful ass game. I would never play that game. You'd love to pretend like you're mad at Mario Kart by calling the Luigi who overtook you a dumb little oaf who needs to die. Yeah. I like to get like fake mad at games, like in a clearly joking way. That's kind of fun. Automod held a message for reason identity. Allow will post it to the chat. It's because you said bimbo graphite. Added permitted term bimbo. Great. I love the internet. Bimbos are now permitted. It's asking me to do it again. I had to specifically allow you to say bimbo. Is that the statue? Oh, I should have gotten a screenshot of it. There we go. Now we have the statue. Thank God. I was afraid that I had done something like terribly wrong for a second that had got us onto the worst ending path permanently. Oh my God. In League, when people talk shit at you, you just instantly mute them. Yeah, that's probably a healthy policy. Honestly, in games like last year, I was playing a lot of Call of Duty World War II was like free on PSN for a while, and I played that for several weeks, and I would instantly go into the settings and mute every player in every match, and just like so I could not hear a single person speak to me. Because it's like the game can only get better by doing that. Yeah, honestly, unless you're like playing with friends or you're in like a particularly like chaotic mood, I don't know. I think that muting everyone is like a good policy. Wait a second. Oh wait, did we not do the fucking great yet? This is annoying. You played a lot of Destiny 2 and you regret playing Destiny 2. Yeah, I remember when that went free to play. Me and my roommate at the time were both playing it, and it was like okay, but it made me feel kind of like depressed. Just felt kind of like I was wasting my time. My roommate at the time though, she played like the deathmatch mode, like the online modes more. I'm not really into
Edward,
that for
come out
anything
from
but
there
like
and
old
come over
games,
here.
like
Edward,
older
you can
shooters.
probably squeeze through here to the outside. Hurry, run away from here.
Okay, I
You
will.
got into it because your friend group was into it. Yeah, it's always kind of unfortunate when you feel like you need to like play a specific game in order to like socialize with your friends, and it's like a game that you hate. Just a couple days ago in Apex, you had a funny where both your teammates died, and one of them just told you hit something, and then you insulted him in Spanish and left. That's good. It's really fun to frustrate people who are mean in just like any way available to you, because it's only gonna like I don't know, like, they're already mad. They're not gonna like be nice to you. They've already crossed the line. You might as well destroy them with impunity. That's you with Final Fantasy XIV stunts.
Hey, Teach, what's going on?
Yeah,
Teach, hang in there.
I was not super crazy about 14. I mainly got into that because two of my friends started to play it. Yes, finally we passed scenario 2. I think I need to take a quick bathroom break because I've been chugging this Monster Energy drink. Hold up, I'll be right back. Let me I'm back, baby. And I remember to turn off the peace sign this time. Ah, thank you, thank you. Most of your friends still play League even after all these years. After a decade? It's really that old? I know that it's basically like supposed to be the sequel to Dota. It's like made by the people who made the original Dota on Warcraft 3, right? I never played that back in the day. I was not super crazy about Warcraft 3, honestly. I've been curious about like going back to try like the campaign in Warcraft 2 and 3 because I have fond memories of playing Warcraft 2 as a child. I would mostly just go online and play like 7v1, like fighting the computer. Just like total cheese fest to get your rank up or whatever because I was a stupid child. And I remember the campaign maps were kind of fun. And they had like the little intros where like a orc would say some fucked up orc stuff about how you're gonna like go pillage some like human town or something. That was cool. Half the people who made Dota 1 split off to make Dota 2 and League. Wow. Seems like there might be some bad blood there. Wonder if there's any juicy drama behind the scenes. There must be. You have your own ideas about Warcraft, Dot? Are you a Warcraft hater? I'm not particularly attached to most like Blizzard stuff, except for I like Diablo. Ice Frog killed a guy. Is that true? Or are you pulling my leg? I kind of can't tell when you're joking sometimes, Stunts. Okay, it says scenario 2 Helen. This is, I really hope that we go back to Jennifer. I'm gonna lose my mind. Yes! Yes! Wonder if she found the statue alright. Are we back on Jennifer? I think that we're actually on something new now. I must go see Helen quickly. No. We're gonna go to Rick's house. No, she doesn't even know where Rick's house is. Does she? Where would she have learned about that from Nolan? Your ideas involve a well-placed dropkick. That's pretty extreme. It's not like the Warcraft games are like particularly like amazing or anything, but I don't know. Alright, so is she just gonna say, okay, we just have to go see Helen? I'm not like super crazy about like Warcraft. I liked it as a kid, but it was really clunky. I'm not really a big real-time strategy head in general. I liked Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. That was cool. I always liked to play as the Yuri from the expansion. Gots was just questioning me. You aren't hurt, are you? No, I'm alright. I was also able to get the statue. But more importantly, Jennifer, I found a clue to Stas the Scissor Man. What is it? I found out where the Barrows used to live before they immigrated here. Yes. They used to live in the Barrows Castle in England. What a surprise. The Barrows Castle. According to historical accounts of the castle, there was some kind of monster born there. They must have found some way to destroy the monster back then. So, if we go to the Barrows Castle, we might learn how they did it? Right. I can't say we will for sure, but I want to believe we will if we try. All you know about Warcraft is glad you could make it Uther? What does that mean? What's Uther? Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't see Rick. I would really like to see him again. Good. Be sure to tell Guts. He'll bug us later if we don't. Yeah, now we have to assemble the party for the final battle. We should also tell Professor Barton. Okay, I'll go now then. Uh, let's see. There's no time to go home. What? Oh, but she went home anyway. It's the copy pasta of the part in Warcraft 3 where Arthas becomes evil. I remember that. I thought that he was so cool when he became the Lich King. That was cool. No one's here. Just gonna look around your own room in confusion. Look at her teddy bear with its like blank expression. Hello, Wigmeister69. Welcome. Yeah, she has that entire chair just for her stuffed animal, her little stuffed bear. I tuck my favorite stuffed animal into bed sometimes after I wake up in the morning. I'm playing one of your favorite games. Yeah, this game's amazing. This is I played through Helen's Route A last stream yesterday. So I'm doing Jennifer's this time. It's a very cool game. Jennifer, we heard you were going to the Barrows Castle in England. Well, yes. We've decided to go with you too. You have? This will be a good chance to see a castle. And it sounds like fun. Beth just wants to see the castle. She doesn't really care that she's in danger. Oh, I see. There's a Miley Cyrus clone theory for Avril Lavigne? Or are you talking about... There's a theory about a Miley Cyrus clone as well. You're currently writing a video essay review about this. Cool. Jennifer says... It says I can't go in. Okay. I should tell Edward and Kate. Are you doing like analysis or like just kind of like a review of like the mechanics and stuff like that? Oh, Jennifer. Well, hello, Jennifer. I think we're getting close to discovering the secret to Scissorman. Scissorman's dark secret. The secret to Scissorman? Yes. There's a castle in England called the Barrows Castle. Barrows family used to live there. I see. Is that where Scissorman's from? His hometown, Barrows Castle. So, Helen and I are going to England to investigate the castle. You are? Is that a good idea? That seems kind of sus. Well, it may be dangerous, but I'll go with you, Jennifer. What? Edward, don't be ridiculous. But if we don't do something, he'll probably kill us too. May I go with you, Jennifer? Okay, I'll tell Helen. Oh dear. I like how in Helen's route, it seemed like Kay was like almost enthusiastic about sending Edward off with Helen. Just like, I'm his guardian, but you can just like watch him. You could take him to a foreign country to like, you know, the castle where we're chasing a murderer to. It's fine. Kind of all-encompassing. Been a fan of the game for a long time, so kind of being real talk about it, but also why you love it. Yeah, it's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it has so much heart and so much you know, just like boundless fun energy. I like how Rick's house is on the map, but we just can't ever go there. I guess we'll go talk to Nolan. That's cool though. It's a game that kind of doesn't get enough recognition. I feel like I don't see too many people really talk about it. I feel like more people talk about the Super Famicom game because it's kind of more. It seems Mr. Sullivan was killed by Scissorman in the library. I know. Helen was there too. Is that right? The police didn't tell us that much. Let's try and save Tim this time. Nolan, we found a clue. Really? Yes. There's a castle in England called the Barrows Castle, and we now know where it is. Barrows Castle. That must be where Scissorman is from. Thank you, Tim. Yes, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of potential here. I kind of wish that the game was longer, honestly. It is kind of short and sweet, but I don't know. I wish that the series had gone on in this form. for a bit longer. Like, it seemed like Clock Tower 2 was kind of a kind of a little bit of a disaster, and then they went on to like make a more traditional sort of survival horror game with 3. And then of course you have Nightcry. Okay, we'll go 2, right Tim? Yeah, this'll make one interesting report. You don't mind, do you, Jennifer? No, just everybody come with us. We'll all go to the visa office together. It'd be safer if you came along. Alright then. We'll go and ask our boss. This game really needs a remake? Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd kind of be interested in like a reboot, maybe. Or I don't know. Something new ideas in the game. They unfortunately, yeah, like I was saying, like they made Nightcry, which was kickstarted by Hifumi Kono. And that was you know, an unmitigated disaster. Like there's like very few games in the world that have gone as wrong as like Nightcry did. It was a clown car game. Hi Jennifer, I heard Scissorman's back. The media's gonna jump all over it again. This is indeed an interesting case. I would love to see the Scissorman. He wants to see Scissorman very badly. Inspector Gotts, I'm going to England. It's Assistant Inspector. Are you going there to study? No, not really. There's a castle called the Barrows Castle in England. If I go there, maybe I'll be able to learn something about Scissorman. The Barrows Castle. So that's where the Barrows used to live before they immigrated to Norway. I think so. That was the one with the very fun Kickstarter video. Yeah, they claimed that they were gonna have all these like big names on it, like Masahiro Ito, the creature designer from Silent Hill, and they said they were gonna get Michiru Yamane, who composed the music for Symphony of the Night, and they said like they were gonna have all these people on it that were like big deal names, and then the end product is like, you know, clearly they didn't have anything to do with it. Ever heard of the game Remothered? I've watched a playthrough of it. It looks like it has some interesting aspects to it, but I don't know, it looks like a little bit messy. You're an important witness in the case. You can't just traipse off like that. And come with us. Of course, I haven't played Remothered myself, so I can't really say. There must be some reason as to why the murderer disguises himself as Scissorman. We might learn why by investigating the Barrows' history. Alright, bruv. I'll go, but what am I gonna say to my boss? No need to worry. You'll be a hero if the case is solved. As long as I ain't made a goat? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Like a sacrificial goat? Yeah, Remothered, it had potential. It had some of that, like, you know, Jalo flavor to it. But, I don't know. It seemed a little half-baked. And I know that the second part of Remothered, the sequel, came out, like, last year, I think. It seemed like that one had pretty middling reception too. But of course, like, you know, I can't really say for myself because I haven't played it, but it's just, you know, what I've heard. Who do we talk to now? Yeah, Nightcry saying they had that Michiru Yamane was doing the music, and then there was like no music in the game except for like some low kind of like rumbling ambiance. It's kind of funny. I think Nightcry is like a funny like shit game, but certainly disappointing for anyone who actually wanted like a Clock Tower successor. Remothered has an entire page about its original versions. Yeah, I remember hearing that it had been in development for a very long time. Oh, you think Gots meant scapegoat? Yeah, that's believable. That seems right. Hi, Jennifer. I was just checking the number of people going to the Barrows Castle. Yeah, we got like 50 people going. There are now a total of 10 people. Oh, thank you for following, Wigmeister. I'm a bit concerned that some of them think this is going to be a picnic. Oh. Well. We'll leave on the first flight in the morning. I've already arranged for a rental car. I hope we can find a way to destroy him, Jennifer. Me too. I mainly know about Remothered and Nightcry through watching Super Great Friends Let's Plays of those. I would recommend, if you have any interest in them, just watch those, because his commentary is pretty good, and he is thorough with the games. It makes them a lot more bearable when, you know, he's got his fun, you know, sedate commentary over it. Yeah, he is wonderful. He's like he was the first Let's Player I ever started to like watch consistently, and still probably my favorite like Let's Player and streamer. It'll be dangerous to move about in the dark. Let's camp here. You know, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get like a woods like camping horror segment where, oh my god, we play as Helen for this part? Teach, have you seen Harris and Edward? Kay is looking all over for them, but she can't find them anywhere. Oh no. I like their camper, it's cute. Jennifer's missing too. They can't be missing. The castle, hurry. Scissorman just kidnapped all of them and put them in a giant burlap sack and took them to the castle. Last scenario. Scissorman. Yes, I actually did just finish watching, Oh!
Don't be afraid, Jennifer. It's me, Harris.
His voice.
Harris?
Poor girl. Don't worry. I'll help you now.
What the fuck, Harris?
Where are we? Where is everyone? What's that costume?
He told me. He told me that if I kidnap you, he will give you to me.
Fuck you, Harris.
He told me to dress up like Scissorman and kill people.
Oh my god.
Jennifer!
No, don't come any closer.
Oh no, Creeper. Yeah, kill him! Fuck him up. Uh-oh. Clement, thank you for following. Oh yeah, but here, I'll just pause for just a second so I can respond to, I finished, his playthrough of the Medium yesterday, and that game really seemed like it was some good art direction in search of way better writing than it had, and it seemed like the gameplay was kind of run-of-the-mill too. Just kind of like, alright, well, it's a video game, so we gotta have the gameplay, you know? kind of felt whatever about it overall. Of course, I wasn't playing it, so. There was a camping scene in the adventure novels? There were novels for Clock Tower? That sounds cool. Are there like translations of them, or? The website Scenery Recall did a translation of Clock Tower's Helen adventure novel, and they're working on a translation of Jennifer's adventure novel. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna take a look at that later. That sounds cool, because I really like this game, and the more of it I can get, you know, the better. Oh yeah, the follow notification. That's from a show called Trixie and the Tree Trunks. It's like a puppet show made by this woman named Miss Pussycat. I would really highly recommend that you check it out, because it's very cool. I think that you can watch it all in very low quality on her website. Yeah, the quote-unquote gameplay, like, I remember the thing that he noted about it was like the part where they were just saying like dialogue. Whoa. That thunder effect? Cool. So I guess Gotts is just dead. Alright, well we're about to die. That's okay. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, the thing that he was pointing out, I'm gonna load because I think it will just start me in that room and I'll be helpless. Him talking about, there was just like characters, they were just saying like kind of overwrought dialogue. You know, about like family abuse or something, and it's like while that's happening, you have to be like parrying like tentacles with your magical like particle effect shield, and it just like seemed like, why would you do that? That seems so clumsy. The Clock Tower games suffer from all there in the manual syndrome. Yeah, it seems like maybe there's some things missing from this game that could have been included in the game. But I don't know, I like it. I couldn't solve some of the puzzles myself last time. Gotts is doing some yoga, it's fine. Yeah, it's cool. He just likes how that spike machine feels, doesn't he? Oh, hide in the coat rack. This is so Scooby-Doo. Yes. Yes! Oh my god. I love this game so much. Alright. I'm gonna save again. This is fantastic. I just love all the ways that you shake Scissorman off your tail by like putting a pot on his head or throwing a blanket over his head or, you know, some such things. Looks like the music box or the cosmetic box is not here in Jennifer's scenario. Is that a chalice? Several strangely shaped instruments. I wonder what they're used for. Okay. Now, in Helen's scenario, anytime I looked at this statue, Scissorman would instantly come in and I was like trapped and would die. So let's see. Looks like the Virgin Mary, but something is very wrong. How spooky. Okay, so nothing else to do with that. Do we still have... Yeah, we have the oil and we have the statue. I was really curious about this game for a really long time. And pretty much every time that I tried to play it, I would get sidetracked or like... I'd be like, no, I'd rather play this on my computer. Or no, I'd rather play this on my TV. And only foreign books up here. Helen would love these books. I just kept like not getting very far in it. But I'm really glad that... Oh! What's this? A note stuck between the books. It's written in a foreign language. Maybe Helen or Professor Barton can read it. Okay, cool. You now have foreign note. Hi Shelter Mix, how are you doing? I don't like to read. Yeah. You can't get the best ending without that note? I almost just ran right by this room. Because I thought that there might not be anything else in here. Many books are stacked up. Okay. Where did Harris's body go? Large, thick books. Just looking at these gives me a headache. Jennifer confirmed for Bimbo. Hold up. You took a chill pill before streaming so you're super sleepy? Aw. Well, I hope that you enjoy the soothing sounds of Scissorman's big shears. I'm having a nice afternoon, thank you. Yeah, thank you for resisting the urge to backseat. That's very courteous. I think that I'm hoping that we'll be able to get through all the puzzles this time. Okay, a chapel. Looks different from the ones I know. Some nice music. I really like this lightning effects in Jennifer's version of the chapel here. Let's check that out. Maybe we'll finally see the star plate that was mentioned in the note in Helen's playthrough that we never came across. That fresco doesn't look right. It looks pretty normal. Like, there's a skinny guy, but I guess that baby has bat wings. So, there's a copper plate on the wall. Is that the star plate? There are stars drawn on the plate. You now have the star plate. We found the star plate at long last. I was thinking about the star plate like all day today. I was like, I wonder if we'll see the star plate ever again. I'm gonna save before we go into the torture room, just in case that's like a trigger for Gots being like considered dead. Because I know that Tim's death was tied to when you go into the wine cellar. If you start to go back up the ladder, which I don't know why you would do that, Tim is considered to be alive. Yeah, alright. Oh, that stench. So, do I have to come in here? A large candle's on the floor. You now have the candle. You okay, Gots? Oh no, Inspector Gots. Wigmeister, is this preventing me from getting the best ending? Just, you can tell me. Because I wanna turn back if this is, gonna result in his death and, like, you know, not being able to get ending A. Chains are hanging from the wall. Many people must have been hung in them. Hey, you don't know that. Like, they might have used this room like one time. You're not entirely sure, but you think so? Okay. Instruments of torture. The black stains must be blood. Guess we can't look at the Iron Maiden. Alright, I'll just keep that third save from right before I went in this room, and I will not save over it. Just in case we get to, the point where we get the ending, and we get, like, ending B or something because of it. Oh, you have to shake Scissorman and then run right into that room and Gots should be alive? If it doesn't affect the ending... I guess I don't mind him dying. We accepted Tim's death last time, so... Gots is a cop, so I don't really care about him that much. I'm assuming that we're supposed to be trying to get out through that fireplace door. Jennifer's third scenario is very picky about the order in which you do things. It seems like Helen's was pretty, like, annoying too. Priest robes. The color is completely faded. There's something in the pocket. You now have the stair key. Okay, great. How do we get out of here, though? It seems like the third scenario is, like, really the point where the game starts to be very, trial and error, and very, like, fussy. Like, Helen's third scenario had its own game FAQ's FAQ, just only for it. What am I supposed to... I know there was, like, that passage in the room with the coats, but it doesn't seem to be, like, visible, and there doesn't seem to be anything we can click on in there. I know there's, like, the room that's in the foreground of the chapel, but we can't seem to access it for some reason. I'm not really sure what's up with that. If you don't go directly to certain rooms, people just eat it. Great. Perfect. Several strangely shaped instruments. Wonder what they're used for. Oh, maybe we use the candle on the statue. Nope. How spooky. Yeah, can't do anything with it though. Is the ending dependent on, like, any of those people not dying? Let's see. We have the key. The baby has a little scissor man face. Looks like the Virgin Mary, but something's very wrong. Yeah, the blood. How spooky, but is there anything that we can do with that? Or is that just like for effect? Scissorman Jr., yeah. It's funny to imagine Scissorman being even smaller than he normally is. It's kind of a tiny guy. He was like even smaller in Clock Tower 1, right? He's like literally like the size of a child. He's like more of a, he's like a grown man size in this game. Alright. Kinda missing what I need to be doing here. Yep. The fresco doesn't look great. Okay. Kinda... kinda don't know what to do. Yep. Something about the way his legs are standing like straight up in the air. It's really funny. Is there something on the wall over there? I'm gonna go right back in and take a look. He's got some strong legs to be able to keep him that stiff even after death. Hey, there is a button or something. A keyhole. Hey, hey, hey. Progress. Cool. A staircase. I wonder where it leads. Yeah, let's go up. That's really cool. We didn't see this as Helen. I like Jennifer's blazer and her skirt here. It's cool. Oh. This room isn't like any of the others. Okay, cool. Progress. Progress. Now let's save over this one. Alright, finally. Cabinet. That Scissorman's gonna pop out of it. The front's all scratched up. Okay. There's something written. You've discovered hint number 9. Finally. I wonder if we missed hint number 8. Maybe it was hidden in Helen's like scenario 2 for this route. I'm gonna be disappointed if we don't get all the hints. Looks very old. Alright. Is he gonna pop out? It is signed Barrows. One of the Barrows must have painted it. A portrait of a beautiful woman. That big painting. I heard if you get all the hints, Luigi is playable. I would love that. I would love nothing more. Wow. It is a pretty cool castle. I can understand that reaction. An oil painting. Bits of paint. Like how it's capitalized. As if it's like a name of like a brand name or something. He does pop out sometimes, and in college your friend was playing it. You were standing behind him, and when that happened, you flew backwards into your closet from the shock. Some of the Scissorman jump scares are pretty shocking, I gotta say. My hair is a mess. Not the time, Jennifer. Must be the master bedroom. The beds look luxurious. Look like normal beds. They're like, you know, got the 4-poster fancy stuff, but that doesn't really affect like the quality of the sleeping. An old yellowed newspaper. 1912. That's over 80 years ago. Hey, wasn't there a fireplace in this room? In Helen's scenario? This must be the master bedroom. The beds look luxurious. Okay. Let's check where the rat went. I think that mouse ran in here. Ah. There's a small hole in the wall behind the table. There's a certain number of survivors you can get in the third scenario. Yeah, that was the case with Helen's scenario. I think we got everybody but Tim when we played Helen's route yesterday. Very old coats are hung inside. Yeah, it's strange that there's just like a closet in place of the fireplace now. But whatever. Yeah, Tim definitely did not count. We got ending A, even though Tim just like vanished into thin air. Poor Tim. Second best, second only to Richard. Richard is the best character in the game. A grating. Oh, okay, I can't open that. Do I have to use oil? No. Okay. Maybe she just like can't go in there. Is the audio balance and everything still okay? Everything's still cool? Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Sounds great, boss. Thanks. That door. Maybe we could get out from there. Oh, can't click on anything in here. You were 8 when this game released? It scared the hell out of you. Yeah, I can imagine as a little kid, not kind of like knowing the ins and outs of like how to you know, push and pull a game to, you know, like you kind of know the internal logic of games in general as an adult. I think this might be scary, kind of more mysterious as a little kid. I wonder when it was last used. It's covered with dust. I think the first like actual horror game I think I ever played was Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. I think it was pretty scary to me at the time. Portraits. All of them look alike. They seem to be portraits of the Barrows. A sturdy wooden cabinet. It's empty. You never found RE scary even as a kid? Yeah, I can see that. It's not super scary. It's like an action game more than anything. The Resident Evil remake, I played that when it came out. I was maybe like 12 or 13 years old at the time. And I had to play it on easy and use the infinite grenade trick because I was scared of the game. I was really scared of Crimson Heads. A pot. Strangely, it isn't rusty. Yeah, the hunters are pretty stressful. They're kind of more annoying than anything. But they do get your heart rate up when they start to show. A sofa. It's covered with dust. I wouldn't want to sit here. Yeah. Nasty. Uh-oh. Let's get out of here. Shelter Mix, you mean the Resident Evil 2 port? Yeah, it's a very interesting port that they managed to cram that entire game with all the voice acting and the pre-rendered backgrounds onto the N64 cartridge. Crazy stuff. We're about the same age, so based on that, when the remake came out, I'm referring to the original GameCube version. Yep, that's the version that I played at the time. Recently I played the HD version of it that's on Steam. That's the one that I played the most, but I did play the GameCube version when it was new. But I never, at the time, I didn't play Chris's scenario because I was so scared. Because I was so scared of just Jill's scenario that the idea of Chris, who has 2 less inventory slots, was like petrifying. Like I couldn't, I just like couldn't play it. There's a fire poker next to one of the fireplaces. Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, that's right. It's right next to the fireplace he just came out of, right? You've never played Chris's scenario still? Yeah, Jill is... she's too likable to go with Chris, honestly. Like, I like Chris in RE5 and beyond, but he's kind of... He looks like a weird little elf man in Remake. I don't know, he looks kind of weird. He's got, like, a way less interesting scenario, I think. I like Jill and Barry as, like, a team in that game. Ah... I like Chris's scenario as, like, from a gameplay perspective, I think a little better. But Jill's is, like, more fun. He's like a changeling action man. That's an interesting description. Just saying that because so many Let's Players never seem to be aware of that. Yeah, I kind of missed that poker the first time around. You know, I was talking about how this game uses the PlayStation 1's like high resolution mode that increases the horizontal resolution, which is very strange. And it makes a lot of items be like very difficult to see. And we're about to see a prime example of that if that hand is in the drawer like it was in Helen's scenario. Yep. Here we go. Gotta get that hand off of our throat. Mashing the button. Yes, and now what you're supposed to do is click on this quill. Look at that. Look at how small it is. It's like almost impossible to see. Wow, listen to that reverb. Beautiful. Music to my ears. From the old ones, you've only played RE2, which you finished like 2 weeks ago. What did you think of it? I like RE2, but it's kind of my least favorite of the 3 original PlayStation games. I feel like Leon and Claire are not really quite like interesting enough in that game. They're like cool in later games, but I'm just not that crazy about them. I'm not crazy about the police station as like an environment either. File drawer. Hair is scattered about? Excuse me? What? There's nothing inside. The remaster is really good. Of do you mean the remaster of Remake? You thought you were the only one who thought Remake Chris looked like an elf man. Yep, he's just the elf. They should have tied that into his character. Wait, he is really a changeling. He looks different in like every game. Except for, I guess in 5 and 6, he's kind of like a consistent. He's like a gorilla, like big, he's buff man. His biceps the size of a basketball. A closet stuffed full of clothes. I like how Helen specifically said that there's like a frock in that closet, but Jennifer is not that discerning. Chris's scenario is supposed to be hard mode. Yeah, it is more tense. because of the tightened inventory, but I don't think it's that much harder. I don't think that Remake is that hard, even on the hard difficulty, which I don't know if that was included in the GameCube version or not, but I don't find that game too difficult personally. You want to play original RE3 since the remake was a letdown? I liked the RE3 remake. For what it was, I thought it was fine. Some people are really disappointed that they cut a lot of stuff that was like interesting about the original, but I thought that it was fine. It's its own thing. The PlayStation game, the original, I like it a lot. It has some of the coolest, like, weirdest things about it to any of the original RE games. But it is kind of annoying. There's like a few parts in particular that I can remember that I was just like, man, why did they do this? But it's worth playing. You'd probably like it. Shinji Mikami said they made RE3 really fast for hardcore fans and he thought Code Veronica was better. I haven't beaten Code Veronica. I've gotten quite a ways into it, but I did like it. I thought Code Veronica was pretty cool. But I think the RE3, based on what I saw of Code Veronica, I did like RE3 better, probably. But Code Veronica's got its own flavor that I think is interesting. Chris gained weight in 8? Ooh. Chunky Chris. I finished RE2 Remake a year ago, and you think they're both great. Some stuff is better in the OG. Yeah, they're kind of like their own. They each got their own flavor. I like RE2 Remake a lot personally. I played it many, many times, but I don't know. It's not like perfect. It's very a game of like the current era. But I don't really like too many modern games, so something strange is inside. To be so pleased with RE2 Remake was like, made me happy. A heavy stout frying pan. I don't think that RE2 is the best game of the original trilogy. I don't. I like it. It's a good game. It's just I like RE1 better for its like very like Myst adjacent kind of like aesthetic and puzzles, and the very primordial kind of like feeling of the game. And I like RE3 better for being like experimental by comparison to the other games. So I feel like RE2 is like a solid game. I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not my favorite. Okay, so we can't open the wine cellar as Jennifer, I guess. Or maybe we have to observe this first. The floorboards are loose. Can we do it now? Oh, there's a switch. There's something back there that looks like a switch. Cool. You like that it has a perfect dodge? Yeah, unfortunately, it's really hard to execute the dodge move in the original RE3. I think it's like only consistently possible on like the PC version, from what I remember. You kind of like RE0 a lot, and you wish there was a patch to make the boxes work normally. Yeah, RE0. There is stuff to like about RE0, but I felt like it was too frustrating to play. It was beautiful. I really like all the places that they have just an FMV as the background that are gorgeous. Like they're so lush. They work so well with the high def character models. Like RE0 looks like it could have come out like this year. It's just too bad that it's not that fun to play like a lot of the time. And I think it's really funny that it has like the highest proportion of enemies that are just like an animal. 2 Remake made you want to get into more spooky games with how cool it was. You ended up playing Dead Space on stream? Dead Space is really cool. That's a good solid game. It took a lot of the right lessons from RE4, I think. Obviously, like the closest comparison. Have you played Dead Space 2 yet? Because that's a pretty good game too. It's kind of different. But Something just made a noise. Ah! Have I heard of the concept of the premise of Schrodinger's cat? Yes. Are you talking about how... Wait, did I just kill Tim by looking behind the wine shelf? God damn it. Oh, Tim, I'm sorry. Oh, he's not coming after me anymore. Okay, let's go back down there. Ah, damn it, I'm sorry, Tim. Oh, I killed Beth? God damn it. You didn't play RE1 and Code Veronica, and you want to play them at some point. Yeah, Code Veronica, I think the only RE games that I haven't played to the end yet are Code Veronica, RE6, and Revelations 2. And also, like, Survivor, but I'm never gonna play that game. I don't think anybody should play that game. And I love, like, janky-ass games. You've replayed Dead Space like 10 times and you're not exaggerating. Yeah, it's a very replayable game, especially with all the weapons. Like, you can really put together like different loadouts that make the game interesting to play different ways. Tim, the Scissor Man Taylor. It'd be dangerous to step on them, yeah. RE5 you played with a friend and loved it, and you tried the same with 6 and couldn't get into it. Yeah, that was kind of my experience too. I played 5 with a friend, like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years ago, and playing it, like, the gameplay was, like, actually very fun. It's enjoyable. But it's no fun to play on your own. And RE6 I've tried to play. I have the PS3 copy of it. Whoa! Barton's dead too? Are you kidding me? Everybody died. Oh no. Alright, let's get out of here. Hold up, we gotta get away from Scissor Man. I like that he climbed a tree. Let's go to the store again. It's just the easiest way for me to kill him. I love doing that so much. You could have a person back there behind the rack or Scissor Man depending on how quickly you get there and if you check the wine barrel twice. Beth or Tim are simultaneously alive behind the rack or dead in the wine barrel. That's bizarre. I kind of like that though. This very, I don't know, adds some kind of mysterious element to the game that I think is kind of fun. No. Ah, I didn't want to go through there. I wanted to look at Barton. Seems kind of weird that they take away all the bodies of everybody else that Scissor Man kills, but Barton is still hanging there. I think this is arguably more gruesome than, you know, just like a... Oh my god, not again! Come on. Let's go. I'm gonna go get that fireplace poker. No, we can go to the kitchen. Let's go get the pot and knock him out with that. Dead Space is the only game you ever considered speedrunning? It seems like it would be fun for that. The only game I've ever done anything near to speedrunning is trying to do the very fast runs for Resident Evil 2 Remake, and also for RE1 Remake, to get the unlockable items, or like the S ranks or whatever. Which is fun. The RE games are fun to speedrun. Yeah, it seems like that looks so stiff. I love this game so much. It seems like in every area they kind of put in like a spot that you can go to. Like, it did use up some of my stamina, but you know, there's like a spot that you can go to in each area that's like kind of an unlimited way to avoid Scissor Man. RE1 Remake has a very cool and funny speedrun. What is it in particular about it? I've never watched one before. I've just like tried to run it fast myself. And there was oh, jittering up and down staircases? Yeah. It's the way that the movement tech on the stairs is very funny. Kind of oh yeah. We need to go to, where are we going? We need to find the library. You like the Home Alone feel of this game? Yeah, it feels very clownish. Like all the varied ways that you defeat Scissor Man by throwing pots on him, throwing blankets on him. It would be fun if there was like a Clock Tower type of game that you had to like explicitly like set up traps for Scissor Man. Might be interesting. Where am I going? No, we don't need to go in there. Where are we supposed to go? Trying to think of, oh, maybe it's that grating that's in the hallway here. Scissor Man is simultaneously the most persistent stalker other than Nemesis in a video game that I can remember, and the most ridiculous because he can foil by a sheet and a kitchen pot. Yeah, he kind of loses some of his presence when you can just like throw a blanket over his head and that's just, he just stops chasing you. It's just too inconvenient. You know, he feels humiliated, so he's got to like go get his powers up again. Won't even budge. Yeah, why don't you use the key, Jennifer? On the keyhole that's right there. What? So how do I use this key? Is this not the right door? It seemed like that only was unlocked from the other side last time. Trying to think of where we haven't been yet. I might be able to think of one place that we haven't gone. No, because this hallway goes behind the garden. I'm kind of starting to finally understand the layout of this castle, like intuitively. That's like a whole paragraph in your script. Like it's an important element. I think that that's one of the most likable things about this game, is how funny the ways that you dispatch Scissor Man are. Feels like the game, even though it is trying to be an earnest like horror game, it's also got a sense of humor. And I think that you can see that like it's most clear like when you find Scissor Man sitting in a rocking chair watching like Tom and Jerry in that in Rick's house. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. That was for the stairway next to Yoga Gods. Oh, right. We did already use the stairway key. I kind of thought that it would be gone if we didn't need it anymore. So, how do I feel about Haunting Ground? I haven't played it. I've only watched like a little bit of it. It looks okay. It seems I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Probably have to play it myself. Yeah, that's the part that I'm like most just kind of feel a little like about it. Shrug. I'm not really in a hurry to like play it. I think I'd rather play like Rule of Rose if I was gonna play like a controversial PS2 horror game. No. I'm at a loss. This store, it seemed like it just opened like naturally on Helen's playthrough. Yeah, it sounds like Rule of Rose can be kind of a drag, but it could be interesting. I know they're both very controversial, but I don't know like the specifics about either of them. It's just I always remember seeing both of them in like articles or like the most controversial video games of all time. Top 10 games that people talk about on forums very often. It's the most controversial video games of all time. Next to like Manhunt or something. I wanted to play Manhunt at one point. It seems like it could be a fun time. Seems kind of stupid, but I just don't know where I'm supposed to be going. It's a little frustrating right here. You know, this game, it kind of comes to a screeching halt in the castle if you miss like one thing. You're gonna be real. You don't usually like VTube avatars, but you really like mine for some reason? Thank you very much. I drew it myself, and I did all the rigging myself as well. So thank you very much. That makes me feel happy. I guess my drawing style is like I started to consciously draw like influenced by like anime after a certain point in my life, but I think my art style is still like influenced by a lot of other stuff. So maybe people who are not quite as like into anime most of the time can relate to it a little bit more. Okay, cosmetics box. So, do we get the cosmetics key at some point then? You liked Haunting Ground a lot? I'm willing to give it a chance. I have pretty much no opinion either way on Haunting Ground, to be honest. Like, it could be good, it could be bad. It's a total unknown quantity. Kane and Lynch 2 is one of those controversial art games, and it's really funny that it's almost 100% marketing for a very dumb co-op cover shooter. Yeah, that's the sense that I got for Kane and Lynch 2. I don't really know anything about Kane and Lynch except that the guys seem very unpleasant. I'm not particularly interested in playing that game. Kind of reminds me of Army of Two. Do you remember that game? I remember that being kind of like a big deal at the time, maybe. Maybe we gotta check the chimney. Let's do that. We haven't checked this yet, actually, have we? What a big fireplace. Oh man, let's check it. Oh, that painting fell down. Does that do anything though? Does that like accomplish anything for us? Seems like not. You're currently trying to do your avatar, but it's a lot of work. Yeah, it took me several weeks to finish my avatar. It was a huge amount of work. Very tedious. But it feels really good when you finally get it done and you get to do stuff like trying to wink, but it won't let me. Yeah, there we go. Haha. You're into anime, you'll see this avatar looks very tired. Yeah, I was kind of like, I feel like there's not enough VTubers that are kind of acknowledge that human beings are not like perfect. I guess the point of like a VTuber is to be kind of like a virtual idol. So that's understandable. That people would want them to be like kind of perfect characters, but I just kind of want to have something a little bit less, you know. And it's not like having a little bit of eye bags is like particularly ugly or anything. I think it's pretty cute on most people actually. When people look kind of sleepy. You want to play Kane and Lynch 2? Well, I don't know if I would play it on here, but maybe we could play it on a co-op sometimes, Stunts or something. I don't know if it has online co-op. Alright, let's go back to the door. Has a cool filter over the whole game. Kane and Lynch 2, you mean? It's like a film grain filter or something. Pain and Lunch 2 Skull Tag. I would play Doom multiplayer against people on stream if anybody wanted to. Army of Two. Yeah, I don't remember anything about it except that one of my friends in high school was like super psyched about it for some reason. They had kind of cute like masks, the Army of Two guys, right? Looks like a drain valve. Okay, but we can't do anything with it yet because we don't know that there's a room underneath the fountain. So what the hell? No, I'm kind of at a loss for what to do. One of the things that I've always been thinking, as I've been kind of like ramping up the streaming and starting to get people watching and stuff, is that I'd love to play like with like deathmatch with viewers for like boomer shooters at some point. Like I'd love to play Dusk or I don't know how to get Quake multiplayer to work. I've never been able to get it going, or Blood or like Duke 3D. They seem like they're a little harder to get like running, but Half-Life 1 deathmatch could be fun. And Half-Life 2 deathmatch is pretty good as well. You know, I'm just running in circles. I really don't know what to do. You and your wife are pleased that I'm embracing the free pass store. It's like the only way to stop him a lot of the time. It's kind of annoying. But, I mean, there's that fireplace poker there. But I keep forgetting about it. A wooden table. Hold on. I just have to go to a guide. I'm sorry. I feel bad when I have to go to a guide for something like this, but I'm completely at a loss. I feel like I've clicked on everything. You can be the guide? Yeah, please tell me. What do I do? I don't know what to do. This is the same thing that happened last time when we got to the castle. I was like, yeah, I did the castle last time. This is gonna be no problem. Boomer shooters are great. Yeah, I love them. I actually I was kind of looking forward to finishing this game a little early today. Not because I don't like it, but because I would like to play maybe some Dusk or something. Like to play Intruder mode for that game. Just a bit. So in the wine barrels is the key for the hallway gate. Are you fucking serious? Was the key there in Helen's scenario? Because like in Helen's route, the wine barrels were just nothing. As far as I can remember. If Beth had been down there, she would have given you the key. That's pretty frustrating. No, she finds the gate key on that random handcart in the room with all the little photos? Really? Wait, so I'm not supposed to go to the cellar? Oh wait, yeah, okay, you're talking about for Helen's scenario, right. Alright, let's check the barrels. This game is so stupid sometimes, but I love it so much. Something smells sour. Is it full of blood? Oh. You must be joking. Nice. A finger. It's wearing Beth's ring. Beth? Inside the barrel. Man, Scissorman's getting creative. A key is laying in the pool of blood. You now have the mansion key. Thank you. I love this game so much. What a delight. Progress. Is that Majima? That's a nice emote. Is he doing Gangnam Style? That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Good. So, okay, what is the laughing bearded man emote supposed to be? Wait, I just realized I'm going the wrong way. Total Biscuit? Who is that? Seems to be like one of the most common emotes that I ever see on Twitch. He's a British guy who died? Wait, are you talking about... Wait, no, I'm thinking of Zero Punctuation. I don't know who that is then. I don't care. Alright, we have to save. Oh my god, I'm so glad we finally made some fucking progress. Zero Punctuation has a son. That kind of worries me. Oh, I don't actually know anything about him. I won't make any judgments about him. It's no use. Okay. The metal fittings are completely rusted. You didn't know it was him? Yeah. I thought it was like, I thought it had to have been like, oh, that's like the founder of Twitch or something. I don't know. I just kind of assumed it was some guy who was like associated with Twitch. Yeah, John Twitch. Oh my god, we finally made it somewhere. Okay, this is the library, right? This is the room that has the fireplace in it. No? Wait. Okay. No, the fireplace room was up the stairs through that one grating, right? I remember Justin TV. That was a long ass time ago. Cool. Okay. Hey, are you alive? Nolan?
Jennifer!
Finally!
Nolan, you're alive! Where is everyone?
I don't know. Scissorman attacked us, and everyone scattered.
Ow, ow. Okay. You gonna keep talking?
Nolan, you've hurt your leg.
Just a cut. I'll be all right if I rest.
Nolan, I'll go.
By yourself?
I'll come back after I've found and killed him.
Pretty lackadaisical about saying that. Yes! I love the singing ghost children.
What was that?
You saw them too? I've seen them a few times already.
He thought he was just having
they are probably
flashbacks.
the ghosts of the children killed here.
Oh my god.
So many.
Great conversation. The bodies aren't green today? Yeah, I thought they were green as well. I guess they're supposed to be like bones. I ever play Fatal Frame? You know, I've tried to play Fatal Frame a number of times, and I always get like maybe an hour in, and I either get too scared. That's one of the few games that's ever actually made me like feel really scared, because I'm really afraid of ghosts. Like I'm like genuinely like terrified of ghosts. Where the fuck are we now? Hold on. I gotta gather my thoughts. Oh yeah, I always get a little ways in, and then I get too scared to continue. So, I have never actually finished it, but I'd like to play it sometime. That's like one of the kind of classic cornerstones of survival horror games that I've never gotten around to. That's a good idea for the stream, probably. Alright, gonna save again, just in case. I know that they have the dialogue re-recorded for the American release despite the Japanese version still being in English? That's pretty stupid. Seems kind of like offensive, even. Why did they do that? The voice actress for Jennifer is also the main character in Fatal Frame. Oh wait, they re-recorded the dialogue for this game? I'm not really sure that they really added anything to the game. I like the funny voice acting, but it's like, you know, listen to it. They all sound like they like just woke up. There are many books on the occult. I'd like to read some of those. Thick books on philosophy. Some writing has been carved into the desktop. It says, take the dry path when choosing among the three. Yeah, we know this time. We know what that means this time. We didn't know last time. We spent a very long time wondering what the dry path could be. A candlestick holder. Wax is dripped here and there. Can we use this now? Okay, so we still don't know where to use the candle. The fire is not raging this time. It's the same voice cast, so I just had them do it again. That's kind of weird. I recently, I watched the third Madoka Magica movie, Rebellion, and I was like reading about how they had Hamura's voice actress re-record all of her dialogue for the Blu-ray release because she was going so hard that she was like difficult to understand. So they had her redo it. So I think it's kind of funny. An old lambskin parchment. The Barrows family's genealogy. What's this mark? Someone has been marked in red. The 13th generation Barrows. Quentin Barrows. It says traitor. You now have genealogy. Wonder what Quentin did. There's nothing here I can read. Books on alchemy. There are many different languages. Do I know about the PS2 game Hungry Ghosts? It's still untranslated, so probably not playable. But from reading about it, it looks so cool in a way I might appreciate. Yeah, I've tried to play a little bit of that game before, but yeah, since it's not translated, I was not able to enjoy it. But it did look cool. I like how it reminds me a lot of a more horror kind of oriented, like Kingsfield or something. Even though Kingsfield has already got a decent dose of like some scary elements in it. I'd really like to play it. I search about the fan translation every once in a while. Alright. So we have the star plate. Hey. Does that have something to do with the candles? No, couldn't be, because there are candles on all of them, even though it's like hard to see them. Yeah, I do hope it's translated one day. Yeah, and I was actually looking at Desperia as well, because I remembered it the other day. And that game looks amazing. I really, really hope that it gets translated. I'm gonna go out of this room, because I'm assuming we find the lead balls somewhere. We'll need to come back there, because that's what we did as Helen. But we did find the star plate, right? So, hold on. Can we use this with the desk, maybe? No. I wonder what we do with the star plate. I'd really like to play Desperia. It looks absolutely fucking insane. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what time it is. Actually, let's go to the bedroom. This'll be easier. So we can get the blanket. Do I want to save some time? Please. If you can help me, please. I don't wanna spend this whole stream running around like an idiot again. I had enough of that yesterday. Like, you know, figuring it out for yourself is definitely part of the fun, but there's a limit. Still love it. It's good every time. Every single time. Human Entertainment also developed uh Twilight Syndrome, only released in Japan. Yeah, I've read about that a little bit. That didn't Suda write it or direct it or something? I've always been interested in it. So it's like a different side of him, because he hasn't really done that much like horror kind of work in a while. I'd be interested in seeing that if it ever gets translated. Whichever symbol is at the top of the plate is the dry path. Okay. Oh my god, thank you. The lead balls, that was so stupid. I have to say. I was pretty mad about the lead balls. Like, they could have made them just like rocks or anything else. Because the lead balls, I thought like, oh, lead balls, that's heavy, right? So I kept thinking at the scene where you go into the cathedral as Helen and Jennifer is tied up there, and there you have that split second where you can attack Scissorman before he gets to her. I thought you were supposed to throw the lead balls at him. And then I also thought maybe I can drop the lead balls on that hand, but no. It was for dropping into the rat pits to make them clear out of rats. So stupid. I love this game so much, though. Okay, I believe that the star was at the top, so let's go down there. And if it's not, we can just trial and error. It's too dark. Can't see anything. Well, why don't you use the candle, Jennifer? Okay. The games are about 3 schoolgirls investigating ghost stories in their town. That sounds awesome. I really love, like, ghost story kind of investigation games. I've been really interested in playing, Deathmark. Spirit Hunter Deathmark? And isn't there Spirit Hunter NG? It's like the 2 games. They're like kind of recent. They seem like sort of a hybrid between like a visual novel and a like a horror kind of like dungeon crawler almost. They seem interesting. I like games like that a lot. If you do that, it's implied Jennifer dies from lead poisoning after the game. That would be good. You could eat the lead balls and get ending L. Oh. Okay. There's something there. Some little blob of pixels. A dagger. Cool. Dagger with symbols carved in it. You now have dagger. Whoa! What? What? What was that all about? You have to do things Clock Tower Baby's way, or it throws a fit. Yeah, it's a pretty like a specific game. Like, I don't know, it's a point and click game, so it's really par for the course, but it can be kind of like, you know, egregious sometimes. It looks like an altar. Maybe we need to use the candle here. No? Where do we use the candle, and where do we use the oil? Okay. Genealogy? Oh, gotta run out? Okay. A dagger. He replaced the original director of the first 2 games, so the scenarios were already written by the time he got involved. So he was mostly just on direction other than writing. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, let's see. He did have more creative control over the 3rd game, Moonlight Syndrome, which he made more psychological because the ghost elements of the other games scared him. That is very cute. I like to hear that. Didn't he wasn't there a time that he and Keiichiro Toyama were talking at like a games conference, and they were talking about making a game together or something, and or was it Swery? I remember one of them, like, they were texted somebody else while they were at like a games conference, Like they were just at a press conference and they texted one of the other guys of those three. I think that wasn't it Suda said that he doesn't like to play horror games because they scare him too much. That's very cute. I'm not like the biggest like Suda fan in the world, but he's made a few good games. Okay. Zombie is gone. Nothing else to do in here, I assume. If we can't go into the hole. Alright. I would really like to see Keiichiro Toyama get to do another game. You wish you liked early Suda more because the Silver Case is one of the coolest looking games of all time? Yeah. It's I have that game and I've been meaning to get around to it for a while. I think that probably the aesthetic could like carry that game, but again, I haven't played it, so I could like completely hate it if I actually sat down to play it. It's still just like Killer 7 best. That's like one of my favorite games. Not that crazy about like anything else that he's done though. I'm just gonna keep saving in every room. I'm just like scared that I'm gonna get boxed in by Scissor Man or something. Two characters from Moonlight appear on Lunatics, the first scenario of the Silver Case. That's interesting. There's a connection. The Silver Case is like kind of supernatural as well, right? I got that sense from the little bit of it I've seen. Moonlight Syndrome has incest and Rat Boy Genius CGI. Sounds great. Making me want to play it more and more. Probably gonna, I don't know. Is there like a translated like script? Like, you know, like a game FAQs document? Killer 7 is so amazing. Yeah, it's a really good game. I enjoyed playing the whatchamacallit? The remastered version on the PC. I like that a lot. It was nice. It's proof that good art direction just means a game that will never go stale. Hold up. Where am I supposed to? Here? Where do I go though? I got. We have all these items, but I'm not like super certain what I'm supposed to do. I can't talk to Nolan. There's an actual translation hack in the works that's worth holding out for. I don't know if I would stream that, because it's like a visual novel, right? Oh, right. That's the room to the sarcophagus where Nolan was in Helen's scenario, right? Okay, thank you so much. It's just kind of hard to remember what is even available at any given point. YouTuber ARDW did a playthrough of the first two Twilight Syndrome games with English subtitles. YouTube channel Tara A. Devlin is doing her own translated playthrough of Twilight Syndrome. Okay, that's good. Maybe I'll check that out, because it's kind of nice to watch a game like that as like a video. Because playing visual novels yourself, like, sometimes you can get a little tired. Metal fittings are completely rusted. Oh, that's what we need the oil for, huh? Please? Yes! Oh my god! Finally, I figured something out for myself. I'm not trying to just vomit direction. No, it's cool. If I'm like verbally asking, like, what the hell am I supposed? Is Scissorman inside of the treasure chest? If I'm like you know, openly kind of asking like, what am I doing? Where am I supposed to go? I have no idea what's going on. You know, often that'll probably mean like that I actually need help. Scissor Man, a mummified Scissor Man. The corpse looks very old. A key. You now have the box key. Is that for the oh no, it must be for that box right there. I was thinking it might be for the cosmetics box, but chemicals and laboratory instruments. Okay, nothing there. That just leads out to a void. What? What the hell was that? Just to deplete your... What? They just really don't want me to open that, huh? What am I supposed to... Okay. What? There's a rope on the floor. You mean that? Are you kidding me? Well, I wonder why the rope and candle are together. Rope and candle are together? What are you talking about? Some rope. Like maybe somebody was getting up to something indecent. The rope and a candle. That was not like legible as being like a rope. I'm not crazy, right? It's locked. Yeah, you have the key, dummy. Open it. Fool.
Helen! Are you all right?
The greatest treasure of
Jennifer.
all. Okay.
Are you all right?
Oh yes.
Yes, but
I gotta
my
give her that note.
head hurts a little.
Foreign note. Hey,
Is there a way out of here?
I don't know. But I do know one thing. If we don't kill Scissorman, he'll kill us whether we get out of here or not.
yeah. One might assume that of Scissorman.
Jennifer, there must be a way to destroy him in this mansion, and I must find it.
I like how they kept calling it the Barrows Castle earlier, but like once you get here, they just keep calling it
Oh, Helen,
Barrows Mansion.
look what I found. Can you read it?
It's in Latin.
Yep.
Words to open door.
Words to open door?
I think that's what it says. Look here.
Door's stuck.
These words down here must be the spell. It says, Mha-ish.
It sounds like a magic spell.
Maybe this is the key to kill Scissorman.
That's kind of like a leap, don't you think? Alright, no more interacting with her. I guess. Now, we need to find the map, right? So that we know that there's a room underneath the fountain. ARDW also did one of Twilight Syndrome's Psychi, the first game in the series done after it was done went to Spike following Human's bankruptcy. Man, I wasn't aware that Twilight Syndrome was such a long-running series. That's cool. It's too bad that there's so many games that, you know, never get to cross like a language barrier until like decades after they first came out. Unfortunate. No, it's okay. Like, I'm interested in it too. Like, the more that everybody keeps talking about Twilight Syndrome, the more I want to play it. I love horror games, and you know, when you've like exhausted a lot of like the most well-known horror games, you get hungry for anything. that you haven't, you know, checked out before. Like there's obviously like a lot of new horror games out. Like I want to play Devotion sometime. Seems cool. There's a lot of cool horror games that still come out. It's just there's like a certain style of like modern horror that's like come into prevalence, and it's not always like my cup of tea. There were 2 Twilight Syndrome movies. That's amazing. I'm surprised that it's such a big franchise. Movies cost a lot of fucking money to make. Devotion is very good? That's what I've heard. I've got a copy of it. You know, through ordinary means. I'd like to play it sometime. Are you like allowed to stream it? Seems like pretty obvious that anyone who's like playing it on Twitch is probably didn't get it through any kind of like official channels. I would like to support the devs, but you know, obviously there's trouble with that. Oh, you can stream it? Okay. Oh, maybe that would be an interesting game. Because I've been really wanting to play it. And also Detention, the game that what is the name? Red Candle Games? Is that what they're called? I played a little bit of Detention, but it actually became too scary for me. Pretty fast. What? It smells like something's burning. Just don't say how you get it. Okay. Wink wink. Uh-oh, is this Nolan's body? Uh-oh. It's the professional camera that Tim was using. Tim. We couldn't save him. Timothy. Uh-oh. He just got some smoke coming off of his ass. Oh no, Tim. He got smoked. Uh-oh. Well. That's that. Sorry, Tim. We really did, we did a bad job of helping anybody this time. Wait, should I get his film or anything? Oh, some matches. Okay. You now have the matches. So... antique sideboard. Cosmetic box. Looks very old. One of the Danganronpa games makes a Twilight Syndrome reference. That's interesting. This is really strange that those games have such reach. I've still never played Danganronpa. I'm interested in it, but it seems like quite an undertaking. And there's 3 entire games. I also got the first game spoiled for me, which is a little disappointing, but oh well. I guess it's not the end of the world. Wait, no, we don't even need to go in here. What am I doing? Trying to think, like, do we need to go back to that room with the occult books? Is that where we're supposed to be? Just ever more obtuse. I'm like amazed that this is seemingly kind of more obtuse. Than Helen's route even was. Kind of frustrating. Huh? Oh! Ooh, ah! Okay. He just gave up. Like, oh... I wanted to light the fireplace, I'm cold. It's cold in this stone castle. Maybe we can do something with the fireplace. Yep, the dry path. Books. Thick books on philosophy. It's the candlestick. We can't use the candle. Like, there seems to be no way to interact with the fireplace. This is so frustrating. Just for the sake of checking, let's go back out here again. Yeah, there's still seemingly nothing out here. Probably shouldn't go near there. Yeah, I guess not. You need to know to look into the fireplace, put the candle on the holder to light it with the matches, to look into the fireplace with the candle. Great. Great. Where was the... In Helen's scenario, there was something. I remember reading something somewhere. Oh. She said something about why were the rope and the candle together? Do we have to go back and get the rope? I wonder. Let's see. Let's check the bookshelves again. Maybe there's something. No, nothing. Arg. Well, I guess I have to click on everything. Trying to think. We just went in there where Tim was. We haven't been in this room in a minute. We need to go talk to Helen, maybe? Still can't open this door. We have no way to get back to the chapel. I don't see any reason why the kitchen would have anything in it, but that's probably the kind of thinking that gets you running around totally helpless. Looks like a vase. Alright. You know, I was just thinking, when you go to save your game, the play time goes up to triple digits. They don't really have much confidence in people's ability to figure this game out, do they? Yep, book sealed with age. There's nothing inside. Closet stuff full of clothes. Jennifer will not acknowledge as being a frock. I thought that was very nice that Helen was So concerned with details that she specifically had to note that it was a frock. Wonder, maybe we have to go talk to Nolan or something. I wonder. Let's go back in here. You know, maybe we can take that plank or something. I'll try that when I come back out of the door. Alright, Helen is gone. We can't take the rope. We got that key, but we already used it, right? You might have to check behind one of those little paintings in the room. Are you serious? I don't remember Helen having to do that. Uh-oh. Upstairs. Now. Quick. Go. Alright, I'll go check that room, just to be sure. Chase music is still great. There he is. Oh. Playing Scooby-Doo with him. Alright, Nolan is gone. I wonder where he went. He went to just go wait at the end of the game, I guess. He's waiting at the results screen. Like, hey, Jennifer, when are you gonna figure this out? Yeah. I'm gonna go downstairs. Chase music still goes hard. I love it. Okay. Yeah, now we can... Ow. Yeah. There we go. You mentioned earlier there's 2 adventure novels based on Helen and Jennifer's scenarios. This game also had a drama CD. Cool. I guess you'd have to read along to it. Or maybe if somebody put it on like YouTube or something with subtitles, you could watch it. This is interesting. I don't understand Japanese, so I probably wouldn't be able to read any of it, but... Oh, Bulma's voice actress. Sounds like fun. I have to be honest, I can't remember where the little paintings room is. Oh yeah, it's this one. I was watching the first season of Dragon Ball. I want to get back to it sometime. A plaque reads Quentin Barrows. He's the oh my god, you must be fucking serious, like joking me. Danger is near. I've hidden the map in the library. My god. Hope people in a later time may discover the door and expel the devil children from this world. Quentin Barrows. Thank fucking god. Thank you so much for the tip on the portraits. I never would have fucking thought of that. What a nightmare. Shout out to Akio Otsuka. Who's that? Snake? Really? I don't think I've ever actually played a Metal Gear game in Japanese. Do they have Japanese audio? For some reason I thought they were English in both overseas and in Japan. They do, but it feels wrong. They've got JP audio? Yeah. Because you know, Hideo Kojima is so hands-on with like the voice actors and stuff. Oh, I went in the wrong door. The drama CD's on YouTube, but there's no subtitles. That's a bummer. Is this the right way? Am I going the wrong way again? I think this goes to... No, this just goes to the... Oh, okay. We're going in the right direction. Thank God. I really want to play Shenmue someday. Speaking of people having a uh, hands-on choice of English voice actors for a game that was, developed in Japan. Thinking about how all the voice actors for Shenmue, the director Yu Suzuki insisted that they only record in Japan, and they like exhausted like every English voice actor that they could get their hands on in Japan, and ended up having to fly people from the United States, and they chose people based on their resemblance to the character that they were voicing. That's very admirable. It's called Dudes Out of the Phone Book. I love that. And hey, the game is better for it. I love Shenmue so much. I'd love to play that on stream. That's a nice chill game to like talk and play, I think. Your physical copy of 3 just came 4 months ago? Cool. Looks like a sketch of the mansion. Oh, thank God. We are finally going to the end game. Finally, we are going to make progress. We are going to see an ending. Thank fucking God. Let's save. Yeah, Shenmue 3, it seemed like the critical reception to it was kind of mixed, but it also seemed like they just kind of didn't understand the vibe of Shenmue. It's not about making quality of life changes. Shenmue doesn't need that shit, because it's Shenmue. Shenmue will just continue to do its own thing, now and forevermore. That's what they did for the live action cutscenes for RE1. I guess that kind of makes sense, because if they're actors like portraying the characters, it kind of makes sense. But they certainly did a bad job of getting people who could actually act. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, though. The next 2 games, Clock Tower 2 and Clock Tower 3, had their own drama CDs. That's interesting. I'd like to play Clock Tower 3 at least sometime. I don't know about 2. I'm kind of on the fence, because I have seen a playthrough of it like a few years ago, but it looked pretty tedious. But there's also some really good scenes in it. I was reminded of when I was looking at GIFs. I was looking for GIFs of Clock Tower, and I found some from the second game that gave me some fond memories coming back to me. Super Great Friend was right. It's not a good game. With Shenmue 3, you mean? Or was he talking about Clock Tower 2? Oh, I thought that he liked Shenmue 3. I thought that he put it on his I thought he considered it for his best games of 2019 list. Yeah, Shenmue's amazing. I really like the people compare the Yakuza games to Shenmue, but I don't like the combat in Yakuza nearly as much as I like the combat in Shenmue, because it's like, it feels more nuanced and more like fluid in a way. I don't know. I never really got super comfortable with the combat in Kiwami, but maybe this is like that game in particular. The combat in Yakuza 2 on the PlayStation 2, I felt like felt better, felt more zippy, more fluid.
Edward, please.
Please.
I know you're a good boy. Let's stop this and go back to the Granite Orphanage. Edward?
Oh my God. Poor Kay, who had so much characterization. Oh, let's go through the door. I at least enjoyed watching him play Shenmue 3.
So, it was you, Edward.
I guess the secret is finally out, Jennifer. But my name isn't Edward, it's Dan.
You don't mean? No!
Why is it advancing so fast?
So, you remember me now.
Jennifer!
No!
Nolan!
Come here, you scissor-fingered little runt.
Scissor-fingered little runt?
Just try it!
Yep. I like how it automatically told me that there was a hole this time. I don't know if it said that in Helen's playthrough. Yep, here we go. Oh yeah, we gotta get the door spell.
Open the door and show me the way.
Where'd the acid base go? Use the dagger when he grabs you? Alright, thank you.
Jennifer!
I never would have thought about that. Okay, we win. The end. Yay! Poggers. Yay! Oh my goodness.
I wonder how many days have passed since we were locked in here.
Locked? You're caved in.
Days? I think it's been only a night.
I
Are
like
we going to
Jennifer.
die like this?
Don't worry. I'm sure Helen will rescue us.
I
You
love
know,
the FMVs.
You're tough.
No, you're just weak.
Oh my god.
Helen?
Jennifer, Nolan,
Helen?
Uh,
Helen?
4 Helens in a row. Kind of reminds me in Super Great Friends playthrough of Carrier, there was that part where Jack Ingalls used the same Colonel like 4 times in a row, the exact same sound file. Then he finished it off with just Colonel. Very matter-of-factly. We get this sick end theme again. I love this game. This game is amazing. I gotta say, even though some of the puzzles are very, very annoying, I think that the rest of the game really more than makes up for it. If I was playing this like in the 90s and I had no guide at all, I'd probably be mad. But here in 2021, where I have like a very knowledgeable audience that can help me with the game, I'd say this is like a 5 out of 5 kind of game. I'd say like if not top 10, then like a top 15 type of game. I always love to like just kind of impulsively start playing a game, and it turns out to have like everything that I'm looking for. Oh, I love this game so much. A ending with the minimum number of survivors. Yeah, I really fucked that up. Do you get anything for saving the survivors, or is it just for like bragging rates? Hold on, I'm gonna scroll back up and read some of the chat messages I missed. Struggle Within has Mojo Jojo and Ghostface from Scream. That's wonderful. You know, I think I kind of remember that from when I watched Stop Skeletons from Fighting play it. Yeah, the combat from Shenmue is just Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter I've never been able to get into personally. I'm not much for fighting games though in general. It was gonna be Virtua Fighter RPG. Yeah, the videos of that they have where it's Akira from Virtua Fighter instead of Ryo, right? That's interesting. Interesting piece of history. According to Fumi Kono, the reason why Kay helped Edward is because she had pedophilic feelings toward him and he took advantage of that. Jeez. That's some interesting, interesting lore. Jeez. sounds so delirious. What is sour please? That didn't show up for me. Do I have to like enable something in Streamlabs to get... I see people use emotes on Twitch sometimes, but they just appear as text. I don't know what's up with that. Saving all survivors, Evan's survivors in both scenarios unlocks the concept art. Oh. Yeah, you have to use plugins. Oh, damn it. Well, it's too bad that, oh, I would have liked to see the alternate costumes, but I guess, if you're watching out there and you want to see that, you can always go to, YouTube or the Clock Tower wiki or something. That's probably what I'm gonna do for the rest of the endings, because I really, as much as I love the game, dialogue is far too slow to replay it, 10 times. I can play this all I want in Yippee Year? Well, that would be great. I have such nice people come into chat. This is only my second stream. I don't think I've had a single person come into chat that wasn't just like an absolute delight, so this is nice. Do I like Parasite Eve? Yeah, it's great. There's some... I think the dungeon design in it is like terrible, but the game itself is really cool. I like the story of it a lot. And just the... I don't know, very experimental approach to RPGs. And I always like to see a horror RPG too. There's actually a horror RPG that I want to play. It's one of my favorite games ever. I won't say what it is until I'm actually gonna play it, but I can't wait to play it because it's amazing. It's a game like this where I kind of just like went into it and I was like just kind of impulsively played it, and it turned out to be like, oh man, this is like a game that was like feels like this specifically made for me. I always love to have that feeling with the game. Jennifer's outfit in the first scenario is replaced with a pink waitress outfit, while her outfit in the third scenario is replaced by a Sailor Fuku outfit. Cool! That sounds awesome. I love that feeling after you beat a game and you binge all the wikis and lore videos. Yeah, I've done that with a lot of games. Helen, in the first scenario and second scenario, if you have her go to the library, her pink blazer is gray, while in the third, her turquoise blazer is orange. That's kind of a minimal change. She should have gotten full costumes like Jennifer. Maybe Hifumi Kono was like a bigger fan of Jennifer than Helen. Nolan, his blue jacket becomes brown during the second scenario. Very exciting. Oh, you think you know what it is? Well, let's keep it under wraps for now. I want it to be... It's not exactly like a surprise, but I'd like to wait until it's I'm gonna actually play it. It was actually I was gonna play that game for my first ever stream, but well, that was after I switched from Daikatana. I was gonna play Daikatana, but then I wasn't sure about the loudness of my keyboard, and I was also like, maybe I should actually play a game I might earnestly enjoy for my first ever stream. So I went with Clock Tower instead, because I had liked what I had seen of it at the time. And I'm glad I did. This was great. I think this was good for our first couple streams. So, great. Wonderful. Thank you for your help. Sorry, I have to scroll up and see your name again. Wigmeister, thank you so much for your help. That is much better than having to check a guide for like every little snag. Gots. His brown suit becomes a dark outfit with white Japanese symbols on the back in the second scenario. That sounds kind of cool. The combination of characters used has no intrinsic meaning, but when the individual characters are sounded out in Japanese, they produce Sutangotsu, an approximation of the Japanese rendition of Gotsu's name. It's kind of weird. Martin's blue suit becomes brown. Now load up Quake so you can smoke me in co-op? That's not gonna happen. I would smoke your ass in a second flat. Actually, I need to...
The evil
We'll just let this intro play out, because it's so fucking funny.
With a knife?
No, it sounds crazy.
I want to learn how to play to bunny hop in Quake before I stream it, but I will stream Quake eventually because I love it dearly.
search for prey.
But I've played it so many times that I feel like I need to learn how to bunny hop to make it more interesting to actually play.
From Norway to England.
Scissorman's blue outfit becomes black. That sounds kind of cool.
Here it is, the Barrows Mansion. We have to go there and look around, or we'll never solve
Well,
the mystery of
you don't have to help with every game. You're welcome to just hang out if you if you like whatever I'm playing. There's probably going to be plenty of games like this.
The horrifying
I've got some other like unusual PlayStation games lined up. I don't know what order I'm going to do anything in,
Who
but
will make it through this game of murder alive?
well, apparently Tim did not make it through this game of murder alive, and neither did Beth, and neither did Mr. Barton, and Kay. Did Kay die? Kind of wasn't paying attention. You're glad you know about Clock Tower now? Well, I'm glad that people enjoyed it. I should play Quake with viewers? If I can figure out how to play Quake multiplayer, I'm not really sure how easy that is at this point. Hey, we never looked at hint number 9, and we never got hint number 8. If Jennifer is the protagonist in the last scenario, when she's trying to escape and runs out onto 2F Terrace, if you click on... Oh, that's to get you to go on that ledge so that you can go into the little window to get to Nolan in the skeleton room. The child skeleton room with the dancing child ghosts. One of our favorite rooms in the game, I'm sure. Well, if I can figure out how to play Quake multiplayer, that would be fun. I would love to play against people live on stream. Because I will say, I'm pretty fucking good at boomer shooters. I'm not, like, the best. But I don't know. I'd say I'm okay. Yeah, we're only about, like, 4 hours into this stream. I'd like to go for, like, maybe at least, like, another 3 hours or so. So... I'm gonna go use the restroom again real quick. And then, yeah, we'll see about playing something else. How about? Alright, be right back.